crazy night tonight at the White House Correspondents' dinner, where shots went off. I'm sure everyone's heard that by now. Press conference is coming up soon. I'm monitoring it on my other screen here. We'll watch it when it goes through. They're testing the mics right now. And he wanted it to go. He wanted to go on. I understand why they didn't. They want to sweep that area and get ready. By all accounts, it was going to be a pretty strong speech, is what we hear, and that's what Caroline Leavitt was saying beforehand. There's the talk and the rhetoric has been severely ramped up of late. So things are really getting hot. Also, I noticed there's a tone in Trump and others, just the way they're talking. Okay, let's see. Is this hold on? Okay, they're still just doing tests, I guess. Yeah, there's been a severe escalation in the confidence and the way Trump and others have been posting and talking, which, I think is an ultimately amazing sign when it comes to everything that's going on. And we'll see. To me, that means things behind the scenes have escalated. And, even just above board escalated. They're taking out the Mexican mafia was just raided. They were taking out cartel leaders not too long ago, right in between the Maduro raid and taking out the Ayatollah Khomeini. So much has happened that taking out a head Mexican cartel member literally was like substandard news that didn't even like stick in the news cycle. Okay, blowing narco-terrorist boats out of the water is just a second thought at this point. So they're making moves right now. They're making lots of moves. They just, again, repealed a whole bunch of EPA and crazy climate change regulations that were just stifling everything. And some suspect that is the purpose of these regulations, not to help the environment, but to try and defang the United States of America. Here we go. Wild Blue Eyes appears.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
good
just
to see
going
everybody.
over how the rhetoric has been ramping up, and I feel like there have been a lot of above board wins, but also even behind the scenes, you could just tell their posturing is different. I think they have taken a lot more control than we realize.
Little locked in there. I think they're locked in. Yeah. And, Brad knows last night, I didn't even sleep last night just because, you're looking at a lot of these deltas that we're going through, and it just, a lot of these things that were mentioned in these posts are happening now. And the public opinion has now changed to accept that, let's say, for example, Obama is a traitor. It doesn't matter if he was a president. He sold us out. And a lot of people are finding that in all different angles, shapes, and forms. I saw that post you did, Obama with the whole abortion situation. I was like, this man is just evil. He's just evil, And so we're all posting online. Everybody's getting pretty excited about this. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pike. Trump posting videos saying that Obama's guilty of treason. And then this happens. So, take of it as what you will. This obviously Abby's thoughts. But
this is a counter, I think. This is a response to them, and they're very desperate. First reports that I've been reading is that someone was trying to rush, and they took shots at a Secret Service agent who then returned fire. This was one of the earlier reports. See, I have it right here from, I think, Nick Sortor.
Did you pull something up?
Yeah, I know. I'm just scrolling for it real quick. I was going through so much stuff here. That's weird.
My timeline's going crazy
maybe
too.
Maybe he took it down. Maybe the story has changed right now. I have. Should I play video?
I have footage of what happened before too, different angles if you want.
Okay, yeah. Here, I'm gonna pull this up. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Let's check this out.
Watch Melonia's face, by the way. Some kind of joke.
Well, that was something. Here. There you go. See, look, they're in the back. They don't even hear it at first. All right, that was a better angle. You heard it better there.
It's 4 shots. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm going to restart that one. Interesting that it happened right as the band was playing. Almost like they were trying to do that, maybe to be covered by the music.
Definitely.
Trajan 6927 says Hussein Obama and the fake news started all of this. They absolutely did. And their rhetoric has been keeping stuff like this going and escalating for the last 10 years. And it's insane at this point.
Yeah. Check the Q post with timestamp. Yep. It's funny. We were all on those deltas today. That's why I was saying this is, I don't think, coincidental. Again, that's
not at all.
That's just my thoughts. But I mean, come on. What's the chances? Also, when I saw this happen, I told Brad, I'm like, this feels like posturing to me. This feels like, okay, think about this. The deep state, the cabal, they know about the Q post as well.
Oh, yeah.
And they're seeing that they're doing the comms. They're seeing that right when that comm's coming up with talking about Barack Hussein Obama being a traitor, all those times. Yeah, all those ones. I think there's 6 or 7 of them, right? For today. This happens.
Yes.
Do you think that that's just coincidence? I'll leave that to the viewers, but dang.
The rhetoric on President Obama, about President Obama and what a horrendous piece of garbage he was, has exponentially ramped up of late. I was just looking 100%. At something. This is a bill that when he was state senator in Chicago, that, let's see if I can get this, that he vetoed, or he voted twice against the Born Alive Infants Protection Act. In 2002, he voted against it and then shut it down. And this was a bill aimed to ensure that infants born alive after botched abortions received medical care rather than being set aside to die. Okay, he voted against that. Then in 2003, the bill passed in Chicago Congress, I guess Illinois Congress, 98-0. But Obama was the committee chair on the committee that was, had the final say, and they killed it 6-4, and he voted against it again. They killed it, even though it passed Congress 100%. A bill, again, to protect infants who were born alive after botched abortions.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this dude is an absolute demon.
Yeah,
and
he is.
Plant.
It's funny because I never heard that. That's why I love when you start digging into these types of things. Never heard it, but not surprised. There is a post, Brad. I want to share it real quick. I found it a little interesting. I just found it a little bit interesting. Enoch says Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. is where the shooting happened tonight. Is the same place where Ronald Reagan was shot on March 30th, 1981, outside that exact same hotel. I would definitely take that as a message then. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, trying to threaten. Well, guess what? MAGA is not threatened. We don't give a flying. I guess I can't say. We're on,
they're
we're
very
on YouTube.
symbolic.
Language. You know
now,
how I
honey,
feel.
watch your mouth. Meanwhile, I try so hard not to drop F-bombs and stuff. I do good most of the time, but sometimes they just come out. I don't know. I don't know if it's just so many years of playing in a metal band or just growing up on the Jersey Shore or working New York City construction. I have a whole lot of things working against me on trying to not curse, but and that's not a good look. Listen, we are the news now, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Here, read this.
100%.
This dude, Donald Trump has balls of steel. This guy is the bravest human being. And in fact, he's doing this in the first place. Yeah. But just in general. And he wanted to just go on. He was like, hey, let's just continue with the dinner. You know, he had some fire to drop on their heads. He's excited.
Yeah, dude. And somebody here in my chat, I can't confirm, but they heard from Leo boards that a Secret Service agent was shot but caught in vest and will be okay. Yeah, so I can't confirm that. There's a lot of stuff flying around, but yeah, that's interesting.
Well, that's the early reports is that he bum rushed, I guess, maybe the door or whatever to try and get in, and that he shot at a Secret Service agent while that was happening, and that the Secret Service agent returned fire. So, that'd be crazy if he actually hit him.
Yeah. Okay, so Trump comes out and he says this, quite an evening in D.C. Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I have recommended that we let the show go on, in all caps, end quote, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly, which now they have. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll plane have to do it again. President Donald J. Trump. So that's interesting.
Yeah, he was saying, they said one of the first things he says he wants to reschedule it within the next 30 days. So he had something planned here. And this is, do you remember, it was the 2011, remember we were watching that not too long ago, you and I, the 2011 Correspondents dinner where President Obama and even
I have that. I can pull that up.
We should put some of that on right now.
I will find that right now.
From, I think his name is Wolf. I forget. From Seth Meyers from Saturday Night Live. Just making fun of Trump. He's sitting there, and I'm thinking, boy, talk about an epic backfire. That was not a good idea, and it's nasty too. Barack Obama
Trump's
is
sitting there so savage. Yeah. He's I think that's what I posted it as. I said as cool as a cucumber, but here we go. I did find it. Frickin' watch this. And some things never change. This is his nature. So think about that. This is his nature. He plays the long game.
Donald Trump said recently he has a great relationship with the blacks, though unless the blacks are a family of white people, I bet he's mistaken.
Meanwhile, they're the racist ones.
I like that Trump is filthy rich, but nobody told his accent. His whole life is models and gold leaf and marble columns, but he still sounds like a know-it-all down at the OTB. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Yeah, no joke, bro. Now you're the joke.
Who's going to laugh now?
Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it. And if I can for a moment talk about the birther issue, when did we get so suspicious?
Okay, so that was into that. But I think I say, as cool as a cucumber, beware a patient man. He plays a long game, and like today's QComs are the chess moves, right? And it's talking about taking down the king. And how do you get there? You cannot get there from the very. You have to work on it. You have to work the pawns first. I mean, unless somebody's got a secret chess move that I don't know about, you have to start with the pawns, work on up, maybe get to some of the, what are they all called, Brad? But you just can't go straight for the queen at first. And you can't go deadly straight for the king.
No, you have to work. You have to work your way through and remove their foundation. Then the penthouse comes crumbling down. We have here, this is alleged video, apparently, potentially, of the shooter.
Silver foil floor, got it? No. Scooch over, slightly right, silver foil.
Or at least this is what's going on outside. Is that him possibly on the ground there?
That looks like somebody's down there.
It doesn't look like they're dead. It looks like they're being arrested. Yep, they're handcuffed. Someone in the chat says, a Horn Dog 1 says the shooter, 31-year-old male from Torrance, California. See if we can get some more reports on that. But that apparently seems to be the information coming in.
And then I just want to show you something else, Brad, when this is done. It's not
breaking news. It's already recycled, yeah.
Okay, so this, see, because it wasn't just us Anons coming out and Patriots coming out because of these deltas and things. It was the White House itself taunting Obama, hitting, like shaking up the bumblebee bush. So they put this out at the time. It was like 2 hours ago. Let's see, 3:45. What time is it right now? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so it was like an hour. It was like 2 hours before that shooting at the dinner.
Mr. Trump, he certainly would bring some change to the White House.
Who's that guy?
That's Barack Hussein Obama.
Okay.
This is Biden right here.
Wait a second. The
Worst
profile of Biden.
So he's the worst president in the history of our country, and Barack Hussein Obama's top.
Okay, this is
total taunting. Total taunting.
Freaking taunting. Yeah, I'm gonna show this real fast. This is the End Wokeness is saying that the attempted assassin has been ID'd as Cole Allen. Reports suggest he's a teacher in California. Okay, that's just saying. That's what they were saying in chat.
Okay, teacher in California. Oh yes, Bowling Mom says look up Caroline's interview with Fox Guy before the event. She said about the speech, POTUS would fire some shots. Brad posted. I was blown away by that. I was like, no way. Okay,
dude,
great.
Maybe this might be a retaliation to that. There's going to be shots fired.
Yeah.
And or maybe they got wind. But yeah, listen to this.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic.
Oh, they're live.
Donald J. Trump.
They're live.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining.
They're live.
There will be some shots fired tonight.
I will share it.
Oh, here he is. He's coming down now. All right, I got it.
I'll remove this. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way, very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun. and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the DC police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. we wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay, but it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know, could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The president's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country. And that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the president, the vice president that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Merlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chair. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay. And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly. Yeah. And I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question. Actually, it's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise, and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise, and it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him, but so it was quite far away. But it was a gun, and some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, "That's a bad noise," and we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand it was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said what. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln. I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know. I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank
Right.
you for updating us on
Thank
the
you.
suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy. And, you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, we've had no There was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Do you know
Kevin.
any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. You know, he's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. You know, they had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think. I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, you know, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. There's you, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You know, you had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening?
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job. In my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do now, you know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired. And if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so in a sense, you know, it was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot. As you know, they should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly, and he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight. But I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. And they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison, because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. As part of the job, it is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous, but I love the country and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah. Well,
what does that say about our country?
Too. Yeah, we're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
At this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others. And I said, we have to take a little journey. I seek to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. Did it in 1 year. And I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your leadership?
I like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job, but that goes along with her too. I mean, it's dangerous for her too. We sat there tonight, we heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
About how impactful this is. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts. So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him, because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing. And what do we do? But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
Okay, so there you have it. There is President Trump giving a press conference after the attempted assassination attempt at the White House Correspondents' dinner. He did mention, I almost put it on screen, but then I didn't want to do it while he was talking, that they've been posting on he posted on Truth Social right before he went out. This is the guy down right here.
It's exactly where he deserves to be, face down.
Yep.
Smelly carpet.
Yeah.
All right, wait, yeah. Well, this is the video. Okay, real quick before you play it. Now, this is what Trump said. He's like, it was very fast. It was like a blur. Okay, and something just hit me, Brad. You know how I am.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to probably some of that, I assume. But just this idea that this person, he goes, he was very fast. It was like a blur. And he said, some of these people, they have genius level IQs, but they're nuts. And that we're going to learn more about him. Right. These are actually quotes from him. So very interesting. So go ahead and play it. But this is a wild video.
Yeah. And he's fast. He comes from the left here and he pops. He's at this part of the screen. He's past them before you even know it.
Holy shit. Good. Let him fast.
Wow.
That's fast. Go.
That's why it's good to have perimeters set up. So far, that perimeter was obviously pushed way back of the event.
Yeah, dude, play that again. He does
God.
a Naruto run. Look at this. This is insane. Yeah. Wow. Good job on the guys that did that.
It's funny, you already see people saying it was staged. Like, dude, these things aren't staged. There's still people who say Charlie Kirk was staged. Like, there's 40 angles of this dude, just what happened. I don't even want to say it out loud. It's like, unfortunately, this stuff is real. This stuff is provoked by the fake news media who push nothing but hateful rhetoric over and over and over again. And then you get things like this. I was looking at, here's some updates. I was reading over here, right? There's the video again, but it's funny, as I was coming down to see Steve Scalise. I'm incredibly grateful for the brave members of law enforcement who acted quickly to protect us all attending tonight's White House Correspondents' dinner. This is an event meant to bring people together. Violence has no place in our country, which then, makes me think about his shooting, where he survived a crazy lunatic leftist, again, just being just getting their head twisted by the media. In his case, it was a Bernie Sanders supporter, Hodgkinson, who came in and, shot up a freaking congressional baseball game. And that's what they do. This is what the news does. This is what they do. They incite violence. This is why it happened in Butler. This is why Ryan Routh almost happened also. That was down in Florida, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was the guy, was he like hiding in a bush or something at the golf course or something? I can't. A lot of these things, not too much. I mean, they got the people,
This guy
but
right here.
yeah.
Send me an RPG or a stinger, and I'll see what I can do. It's
Ukraine connection. Interesting. Yeah,
this is what they do. They preach violence. This is what things like the Southern Poverty Law Center. You see, I went through it pretty in depth the other day when it came out, and you could find that either on my Rumble or my YouTube, where they're funding neo-Nazis, they're funding Ku Klux Klan, they're funding like grand wizards. By the way, it's not even just like Joe Blow like sitting in the corner taking notes. They're funding literally people. One of the people who was trying to organize the Charlottesville debacle, Unite the Right rally, that was used so much, that was propped up so much in the aftermath. These are events. So they have actual key players in these movements, these hate movements, and then they have them go show up in their fresh Nazi uniform that they just bought from the costume shop down the block 5 minutes before the rally, with these brand new, right out of the wrapper, Nazi flags or Confederate flags. And
Yeah,
stuff.
they all match too, right? Everything always matches.
Yeah, rent the Klan member. And they put them out there, and then the fake news comes in and they pretend like they don't know what's going on, like, oh, this just happened, those crazy conservatives again. And then they report it, and they use it to get your random friend who works 80 hours a week, doesn't have time to do deep dives. He just puts on MSNBC at the end of the night and gets to see this craziness presented to him. So he starts getting inflamed, and then it just keeps happening and happening and happening. For now, it's been 10 years. So he feels justified in his anger. He can't believe this has gone on so long, when really it would blow their minds to know that it's all staged. All of it. It's nuts how many hoaxes have been debunked. The Charlottesville, one of a secondary part of that was when Trump said there were very fine people on both sides. And then just a minute later goes, and I don't mean the white supremacists and neo-Nazis who should be condemned. And they didn't say that, but they still say very fine people on both sides. And what he was talking about the organizers were white nationalists and all this stuff, but it was put out to the public also just as a Unite the Right rally. So definitely there were people who were just conservatives, right-wingers, who said, hey, cool, if they're going to do a Unite the Right rally, I'm down for that. And they show up, and there's just questionable people, and they're probably aware that they were plants, but they're there. And next thing you know, you're just a part of this horrendous garbage shitbag that they put on to honeypot you. And that's what happens.
100%. I love that description. It's a mass honeypotting. get upset because you're right. They all work together, and then they'll get the one shot from the angle that's dramatic with the guys in the shields, and oh my gosh, racism is alive and well, and it's all done by the same people. It's wild just to think of what the American public has been subjected to. I have some other footage, Brad. I don't know. I know that you're.
Yes, here you go.
Okay, I have some footage on the ground here. This is just of the same event. I haven't even watched it, so we're gonna see. Make sure.
What the?
Where's the coming from? Where's the coming from? Left.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, dude.
All of a sudden, that guy's got a freaking shotgun. Secret Service, man.
Where's it coming from? What's the crossfire?
Watch Crossfire. Yeah, a lot of people there.
Yeah, don't get in the way.
What a crazy situation that must be.
We got one down.
Let's go.
What? So this is where he rushed past. Okay, then we were watching the first thing. Security is a side view of this.
Oh my God. Stay down, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, stay down.
Fuck that. Let him walk up and film it for us.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I gotta admit that impressed so scary.
Yeah. Everybody be careful because everybody's got their guns. You know, you just get really scared. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
I know that feeling of like.
Okay, there you can see him in the background. You see his legs on the ground. Yeah, right where he closed there.
Oh! It's like, okay, closing the doors now. We got this guy. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad they got him. That's what he deserves. Yeah, I didn't mean to throw you off from what you're going into because this is like the thing. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, everybody out here, yes. There's a lot of things happening. And they're a person that I've always dove into the things about the minds. We've talked about programming, Brad, kind of to loop back what you were mentioning. These people have been subjected to 8 years of propaganda that says, hate Trump. It doesn't matter why. You know something funny? I was making this video, right? The video I just put out.
Yeah.
And I needed to get that video of Trump when he came out with the black umbrella, that legendary, iconic video when he came out, right? And there's those pictures. Black umbrella right outside the White House. When I type in Trump with black umbrella or coming outside of the White House, whatever, it's just loaded with the fake news of look how Trump is so stupid and doesn't cover Melania with his umbrella. Look how Trump dropped his umbrella on the tarmac. Look how he's such a stupid president. So isn't that funny? Basically, I found propaganda. I found them hiding important videos with their stupid propaganda, and we're onto you, and we know it. That's the cool thing is we actually know their playbook. But yeah, so that being said, the mind, they've targeted these people's minds, and I'm going to pass it to you, Brad, if you don't mind with this. They've targeted them with their minds. They've found people that are insecure who they are, maybe easily influenced, maybe on drugs, possibly transgender medications that mess with your hormones, which mess with your mind, that make you susceptible to programming, just straight up. And I'm not saying that's what happened here, although he did run like Naruto. So that gives me a little nerd vibe. Somebody that could be spending some time. But anyways, I don't know. Like, I feel like this could be an instance where this person they were snapped. Or as I said on my show, you get dinged, right? Something and then I'm going to go take out such and such tonight, whatever it is. And again, we'll learn more about him, but wild.
It's funny because I was going through transcripts of the Hour at a Time, Bill Cooper's radio show, and just trying to find things about the Southern Poverty Law Center. I found a bunch of clips actually, but if I put out one of the most succinct one I was able to find, but during that, reading transcripts and listening to different things, there's a few times where he brings up this famous passage in Behold the Pale Horse, where he is talking about just kind of just using like voice to skull technology, using mental patients. See, most how Trump said, he's crazy. That guy's maybe a genius, but you're crazy. And the use of mental patients, and he's saying using ELF intrusion, which is voice to skull technology, but who knows how they're doing it at this point. But I think they're getting these people to the brink where they're getting everyone to the brink, right? And then you have some of them who are maybe targeted or specifically trying to pushed over, and you just do that to everybody. Eventually you're going to have people start popping.
Yep.
So I think they're doing what Bill Cooper's talking about here, just on this mass scale, and whoever pops. I do also think there are people probably being targeted specifically with voice to skull technology, but I also think just in general, this is going on. It says they're using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion. CIA inculcated. Jeez, I can't talk.
Inculcated.
The desire of these people to open fire on schoolyards and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan is well underway and so far working perfectly. And the middle class is begging the government to do away with the Second Amendment. And, they're also, I think they use it as ways to potentially do assassinations. It says the shooters were all ex-mental patients or were current mental patients who were all on the drug Prozac. And now we have how many different types of Prozac and SSRI blockers and all these different crazy psych meds.
Hold on.
Does this
Behold the Pale Horse?
Yes, from Behold the Pale Horse. Yeah, page 225. Says this drug, when taken in certain doses, increases the serotonin level in the patient, causing extreme violence. Couple that with post-hypnotic suggestion or control through electronic brain implant or microwave or ELF intrusion, and you get mass murder. And here's the deal. In this, what we're doing in the modern day, you don't even need like an ELF intrusion. The ELF intrusion is every news station, every radio station, every celebrity, every freaking TikTok influencer, every mundane Facebook page for a decade going, Trump is evil, Trump is evil, Trump is evil, Trump is evil, Trump is Hitler, conservatives Hitler, supporters are Hitler, supporters are Nazis, Trump is evil, supporters are Nazis, Trump is evil, supporters Nazis, Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler, Trump is Hitler. That just wears on you after a while, and it's snapping people.
And that's been completely confirmed in the declassified documents by the CIA. Look in Project Stargate and then look up MK Ultra. They would put to de-pattern someone's mind, to program them to have different thoughts that they didn't have before. They found that if they just sedated them a little bit, and this is so sad, guys, they locked them to the beds. They chained their arms and their legs to the bed. They couldn't leave. Okay. They wore diapers. They had them there for 30 days. 28 days. But I heard there's other instances that were longer. They had headsets on them, and then they also had things in their pillows that would program them with what they wanted. So they first started with simple things. This one lady, God bless her soul, she was programmed with, your mother hates you, your mother hates you, your mother hates you. That played on loop for 28 days without stop. Now, let me just say, they were successful in figuring out that programming does in fact work. So now when Mockingbird Media is highlighted, that's exactly what that is. Mockingbird Media. And they all say the same thing all at once. That's the other thing. That's the coordination. That's the CIA side. But they're all working together to do what? Repeat the same message. Day in, day out, Prozac, let's go. You tell me.
You get them on these drugs, right? You really, a lot of what you're doing is disabling their alarm system. So they just take things, and that's why it's bad too that they got all these college kids, and you got these liberal communist professors just hitting them with progressivism while they're on Xanax and Zoloft and Prozac and all these different things that are, just that your defenses are down. Regardless of what each one specifically does, your defenses are slightly down. And again, hitting them with psyops like what went down with the Southern Poverty Law Center. Here, I'll play that Bill Cooper clip just really quick.
Oh, yes, please.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know how to
this
structure
is
this picture.
people like Southern Poverty Law Center and the ADL, which she also calls out in this clip. They're producing this hysteria. So they're producing the receipts, the alleged receipts, as the media is crying hysteria. They're producing alleged receipts. Boom. And then you start getting things like Ryan Routh, the kid from Butler, Pennsylvania, this freaking guy. Another one that we'll go into in a minute that happened last week where he didn't really shoot anyone, but it seemed like he was about to do a mass shooting by a Trump National Golf Course. And I think that was another one that popped off, and I think they're really ramping up their rhetoric, and that's why this is happening. But here, let's play this.
Joseph Goebbels would truly be proud of Chip Burlett, the Southern Poverty Law Center, which has never done anything whatsoever to help poor people with legal representation in the South or anywhere else, or with any other type of help. It is a sham, a scam, a con, through which they collect money to vilify Americans, to vilify the Constitution, to vilify patriotism, to vilify freedom, and bring about oppressive laws. The police state. The Anti-Defamation League engaged in the manipulation of Jews, spying for foreign governments, and outright treason. Not to mention the fact that they have been caught on many occasions promulgating the racist, anti-Semitic events which causes the Jews to empty their pockets into the coffers of the Anti-Defamation League.
Promulgating the actual events. I'd say he's calling out specifically the ADL there. I mean, that's their counterpart. It's just another one. And now Southern Poverty Law Center completely out with it. That was in 96. And let me tell you something, man. I was combing through Bill Cooper transcripts, and he does not like the ADL and the Southern Poverty Law. Holy shit, he was onto them, that's for sure.
I remember when you showed me that, by the way, I literally almost cried. Because there's a thing where I told Brad, I'm like, man, I wish he could see where we are now. Because I've listened to a lot of William Cooper too, and he goes, more at the end of his life, there's an interview where this reporter asks him, he's like, if there's anything basically that could, basically he wanted to leave a legacy for people just to wake up. But he's saying, what's the one thing that could change the tides? And he goes, this is what he says. He goes, the only way to reverse this New World Order, he goes, we need to develop a strong movement of patriotism and pride, bring back love for America. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar? Exactly what Trump's doing. And so I'm listening to this, right? And then Brad's like, check this out, Abby, check this out. He plays it. It's talking about the Poverty Law Center and how they literally are doing the breaking news that happened today. Breaking news. He found it out in the 90s. This guy. And so, yes, Behold a Pale Horse. Definitely a must read. I have listened to the audio version. See, I've never actually fully read it in the book form. I've listened to the audio version. I'm an audio girl. So what works for me, but totally listen to it. It's definitely worth a read. And it is also in a Q post. So that's something to think about. There's a lot of information in the book. And actually, the book that you have has more stuff than the audio one. There's all kinds of the book itself
has cool extras in it.
Extras.
Well, first of all, I don't think the audiobook, I don't believe it starts off with Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Which is I think it's very important that he starts this book off with it, because dude, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars really does lay out a lot of what's happened here. Where is it? There we go. So that's how the book starts out. It's a manual that Bill Cooper found. It says he saw when he had Q clearance, and that he found it in the 80s, or someone found it in the 80s. And so he was actually able to release it. And it just lays out everything. So that's how energy is money. It lays out the whole foundation of destroying the male unit in the household.
Oh,
They've effectively done that in certain communities, like the Black community. Forget about it. They've completely done it. They've done it in lots of communities. There is just this feeling of a neutered father figure running all the households. If you think about it, it was saying that they would use TV and different stuff to do this. Think about every TV show where the dad is getting yelled at by the mom and he's stupid and he always needs the wife to help him with everything because to help his fucking baby. And he's a buffoon. And that was planned. Right? That was literally, it was meant to be like that. Usually back in the day, for most times throughout history, the father, the man running the household, was the strength. And this was the leader. And it doesn't make women less than, doesn't make the woman less than. She also was the backbone of the family unit. And they have effectively neutered the father and have taken the woman out of the household. They've destroyed almost both halves of a healthy family unit.
And then the children suffer. And then that loop continues. Like, it's very brilliant. I'll give it to him about that, right? Attack the core. And that's why Q says they want you divided. That is like their biggest goal. What do they do? It's the Jews. Look, I bet you some Israeli deep state is involved, but that doesn't mean it's the Jews. That's a division tactic. Oh, like we were just saying, sex. They want you divided by sex. Oh, my stupid husband. Oh, my wife, hate the kids, kick the dog. This is all by design, And it's really, it's an interesting thing. This was a note that I put down. Talking about the MK Ultra kind of stuff, right? And getting in people's mind and stuff. There is a line that crosses over from that to the spiritual realm. I can't really tell you where it crosses, but I know it does. So when the fake news does this repetitive thing, it's also what you would call like an embedded, like a hate curse or a hex, right? That's what it has been. That is what has been put upon us. So this is the spiritual side of this. And dark to light, Trump knows this. Obviously, he's dedicating the country back to God. There's a reason for this. He's, like I said on my channel before, he's covering all bases. He knows that part is just as important as covering, let's say, the physical, right? Because it's a spiritual. So he is shining light on the darkness. So by speaking truth, you're breaking this curse is what's happening. The curse is being broken. The veil is being lifted, right? I think this is happening. The press, they're talking to Trump, right? And they're like, he's like, are you afraid? Are you concerned for your life? Well, of course he is, okay? But guess what? You know what he does? He goes, I can't be concerned. This is literally a quote verbatim. I can't be concerned. You go, are you concerned about political violence? He goes, no, I'm concerned about all violence. So he literally, his posture was a lion. Okay, like if the deep state was behind those shots and then they're back sitting there watching, I'll just say it, Obama in his freaking basement watching. Trump's like, no, I'm not scared. I can't afford to be. I got a country to save. Like that's what I felt like. That's what was happening at the end of that press conference. It was good.
Yeah. Amen, dude. I was just looking at this, saying that police saying the shooting suspect had a shotgun, handgun, and knives. We were listening to this for a second.
The time tonight, Jamie. Thanks.
Thank you.
All
Let's
right.
see what they have to
We're
say
going
here.
to check in with some more experts and analysts as the night moves forward. We are at the point in the evening now where many of you have been hearing about the shots ringing out. You've been hearing ad nauseum, law enforcement's and the president's version of events. The shooter has been identified. The AP says this, that the FBI has identified the shooter as a 31-year-old man from Southern California, from Torrance. So we've been talking about the shots ringing out. Let's play it back for those of you who are just tuning in. More analysis coming, but I just want to make sure that we replay this one more time. This is the moment that shots rang out and the president was evacuated from the stage.
Yeah, this is nerve-wracking right here. It's interesting seeing again that how the people closer to it can hear it, but when you're up there, they had a lot more trouble hearing it. Is that Vance? This is Vance right here. Look, Vance sees it right away. See, they didn't see it. He was looking that way. He saw something. Politico were hoping to cover this. I'm sure they're devastated
You have a
that it
second
didn't
vantage
happen.
point. Let's play that.
Oh man, this is some wild, nerve-wracking stuff right here.
Scary moments at the White House Correspondents' dinner. Thankfully, nobody injured, minus a officer who was wearing a bulletproof vest. Thankfully, saved that officer, and they say that that officer was transported to the hospital, but is going to be okay. The suspect, the shooter, also in the hospital. They say that the person was handcuffed, tackled, and handcuffed, and is being hospitalized, but had no gunshot wounds of their own. Still a lot to learn about what exactly transpired last night, or excuse me, earlier tonight. It's just past 11:30 in the nation's capital. Hal Kempfer, standing by here with me. Hal has been with us earlier in the evening, and Hal, we appreciate you being generous with your time tonight as we have a live look just out there near DuPont Circle in DC. Last time you and I spoke, we really didn't have a whole lot of clarity about what had happened. We really only knew what little the president had sent out on social media by that time. Now we're learning from President Trump, and we're learning details from the FBI, from the AG's office, and from the DC police. One thing of interest, this suspect, they were a guest at the Washington Hilton, Hal, correct?
Yeah,
that's correct, and it's really fascinating. This shows a certain amount of premeditation that, and obviously to attack the president or to do something like that, it is a premeditated attack. Always, it's never not a premeditated attack. But this shows a quite
like this guy.
And the reality is, that any venue, any hotel like that, where you have these big events, the problem is. They're trying to separate out. Security is always trying to separate who belongs and who doesn't belong. And he's at the hotel, so if he was just casually stopped or they asked him, he would present his hotel key. He's a guest at the hotel, and that lowers a little bit of suspicion because they're there. And I'm sure the Secret Service ran all the names of everybody in the hotel. They've checked them all out, but you don't have 100%. And depending on how long he was there. He could have got in. He could have brought his weapons into his room, which he probably did well before there was any major security clampdown on the hotel itself for this particular event. And then he used his access in the hotel as a way to kind of bypass some of that outer perimeter security that you would normally have. And again, the problem is that he does belong in part of the hotel, not in the particular venue, not in that. Not the White House Correspondents' Center, but he does belong at the hotel. So that does make it a little bit more challenging from a security screening perspective. But frankly, from what I saw, they did a really good job stopping him. And the fact that he had to do that mad dash through the magnetometer screening area to try and get into the venue tells me that a lot of the other places, various, areas that not open to the public, like service hallways and stuff like that, that they were probably very well guarded. And that was the only way that he could find to actually get in there to conduct that attack.
President Trump says that the suspect was 50 yards away from the ballroom. And this is the video that you're alluding to. You see this suspect, he just jets right past the magnetometers and past the security area. What was your reaction when you saw this video, Hal?
Well, my reaction was, I'm just amazed they didn't shoot him. When you see something like that, your first instinct would be to take him under fire and stop
Well, it looks like they tried to. It does look like that one guy back here.
Now,
dude, that guy runs
it's not like they're
by.
holding their guns either, right? How fast can you get a gun out? See, look, he's pulling his gun out immediately.
So quickly, and once you have somebody, law enforcement officer or security or somebody that's in.
Yeah, he freaking Naruto'd run past there, dude.
That's Naruto. Is that an anime or something?
Somebody else said in here, yeah. Aaron Pauling says he Naruto ran into the event. Yeah, so it's like a specific thing when they run, their hands are like, it's like an anime. It's like,
okay,
and it's like insanely fast. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it, because that's literally what it looked like. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, there's a part of you that goes like, well, I don't want to just pull my gun out and shoot somebody that's running fast. Right. So it's one of those things where I think Trump said that, where he goes, it's a strange situation. What do you do in a blink of an eye? So I think they reacted great. Yeah. He was not able to go in there. And the Secret Service guy that got shot looks like he's okay. I don't know more. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll look into that in just a second here. But thank goodness nobody got killed. And that means it's a good day. Good day for me.
Yes. And then so many things. I'm sure more and more things are going to come out. I will say that, where's the comment right here? It says, here we go. I can't believe he thanked the media when their propaganda fuels the crazies. Yeah. I mean, listen, obviously there's a time to take your shots, and then there's a time to be presidential. And I think he chose the right one there. And he's holding his punches. He even said that he had a pretty incendiary speech ready. And I know he said, I won't. He goes, probably be pretty boring for a little bit, because obviously he wants this to pass. But what he was going to say, there's actions backing up all these things too. So whether he threatens Obama before whatever happens is one thing. But Obama seems to be the topic that has been coming up a lot with a lot of these people. And I can only feel that it means the worlds are closing in on him.
Dude, 100%. Should I pop this up?
Yes.
Pop it.
Look at this, dude. This is a freaking Delta for today. Is this an 8-year Delta? Was this 2018 or 19?
All of these are Deltas today.
Okay. 7-year Deltas.
So that's why I was freaking. That's why it's crazy, because I was just posting right before all this stuff. I could tell that we're on an 8-year Delta with a lot of these things. And so let's bring them up. Let's see what they're saying. And then, like I just showed before earlier, the White House is putting out videos showing how Obama is a worthless loser. And you have all of these. And so this is taken to a article that is by The Hill. It says how the Obama White House engaged Ukraine to give Russia collusion narrative an early boost. All right. This one right here. Will this age well? I think that this will age well. I went there and I reposted it. Any anons out there, definitely repost it. It says, I spy. And this is Obama. So the one thing that caught my eye, though, well, and Brad, you posted this as well today. Was this one?
Yeah.
Is it 127? Is that the one that we were looking at? There's a few of them.
You're looking at 1271.
Oh, do you have that? Maybe I'm looking
Yeah,
at the
I got it
wrong-
right here.
Yeah, pull it up. I'll pull this down.
Okay. Yeah, this is the
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's what I was looking for. I don't know why those ones didn't pull up. Okay.
This is the 8-year delta right here. And it seems like it's funny. A lot of the deltas that are hitting, they are corresponding with this time in his first term. So maybe the little year of the boomerang. This is the boomerang coming around the same pike. And this says, happen, not public, debate how to handle buying time. Toxic, dangerous threats. Very interesting.
Okay,
delta on that.
so right. How far conspiracy land do we go with this, Brad? We're gonna try to let people think for themselves. But I'm sorry, happened, not public. Debate how to handle buying time. What was something that just recently happened right before this? Trump did not send our people to go have the talks over to Iran. That was canceled. Vance and Rubio going over. That was canceled.
Dangerous
Is there
threats.
some buying
Interesting.
time happening? I don't know.
So they're referencing this post by Sarah Carter, the original one that was before it was shared. It says, waiting, everyone is, we'll let you know as soon as it happens. So they're referencing a real event. Just very interesting that comes on that day. And again, they're starting to pop all over the place. And this was, again, the other one that you said I shared today. Is saying, why does the Antifa flag mimic that of the Nazis? Well, turns out that they were funded by the same people. So it
Makes
probably
sense.
has something to do with it. But dude, amazing delta. Thankfully, there was no 187. That is police code for suspect killed or someone killed, murder. And so that's a good thing. It could have been very bad. I want to know how this guy got in there with multiple weapons. I want to know what triggered him. And I like when they take him alive. I wish they would try and extract as much money, money too, but information out of this guy as humanly freaking possible. And it's things are really starting to wrap around. That is for damn sure.
Oh, I realized I was muted. Okay, this one post right here. Could I pull? Let's see if I can add it to stage here. It's the one you were passing. I just clicked the
Okay,
that
sweet,
actual
yeah.
picture. So you gonna make it any bigger? Yay! Look at us go! All right. What post is this? Now I'm zooming in. I can't tell. Don't be Brad. So it says, what would happen if text originating from the FBI agent to several internals discuss the assassination possibility of the POTUS or a member of his family? What if the text suggests foreign allies were involved? Remember what I was saying about Iran?
Yeah.
Forget the Russia setup. This is only the beginning. And also, by the way, it says 1 through 22, babe. Be careful what you wish for. I love that statement. When Trump, when he says that, Trump did a comm with this, by the way, after the fact. It was right when he was leaving the White House and he was talking about Obama. He goes, the 25th Amendment will come back to haunt Joe Biden. And he goes, as the phrase says, be careful what you wish for. Like, that's a quote.
Yeah.
All right.
And they
as
shared
the
that.
world turns-
They shared that on an 8-year delta, but they shared the post. The original post was 586. So then they were sharing it on that day, and that is a very relevant post.
Yeah, let me finish here. Could messages such as those be publicly disclosed? What happens to the FBI? What happens to the DOJ? What happens to special counsel? What happens to in general? Every FBI, DOJ previous case could be challenged.
Yep.
Lawless.
And look, they're talking about this stuff right now. This is all the Spygate stuff's coming out.
Yep. And think about the auto pin. It can be challenged. It's lawless. Think logically. We have started the drops. We haven't started the drops. Human trafficking sacrifices yet. Worst. Those good who know cannot sleep. Those good who know cannot find peace. Those good who know, and this is all of us, by the way, will not rest until those responsible are held accountable. Nobody can possibly imagine the pure evil and corruption out there. Those who trust are the most guilty of sin. Who are we taught to trust? If you are religious, pray. 60% must remain private at least. This is so important. Okay. For humanity. Makes sense. These people should be hanging.
Yeah. Certain words you're not supposed to say. But yeah. But yes, dude. This is insane. And man, just keep it freaking. I know some of it, I think a lot has probably changed too since this first go around. I think things have ramped up, and maybe everything they were hoping to keep private has just been spilling out into the streets, everything all over the map these past 8 years.
Yeah, 100%. So I find it really interesting. I was going to say, everybody on my channel, I go way deep into this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they're taking us there. But yeah,
this is right up your alley. You have a comment here. This is from a bowling mom. It says, "What do you think about JD getting pulled out about 7 to 10 seconds before a POTUS? Just logistics or something else?" Well, we just watched the camera angle where you can see them both, and JD happens to just be looking forward while Trump's on the side talking, and you can see he sees it. He reacts exactly when the crowd reacts. So, in fact, you know what? Let me see if I could pull that up here. Yeah, so he gets just pulled out right away.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't seem anything like nefarious, but let me see it. Yeah, they pulled him out right away, and then Trump, they're going to him. They were still in the middle of talking. Someone was saying they were wondering if he was being distracted by that card, but I don't think so, because the guy showing the card standing behind him. So you're like primo in the line of fire for any of that. I'm gonna see if I could find that video for a second, because then I'll show you guys what I was talking about.
Was it the one I was just playing?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to find this. The far back shot.
I don't think I've seen that.
We started off with it, so I just have to. Yeah. If you talk for a second, I'll look for it.
He's like, stop talking, woman. Yeah, I was reading chat over here. Yeah, religious leaders are trusted the most. This is true, but that's a two-edged sword, because there are good religious leaders, but then there are bad ones. Again, that's the whole idea about the spiritual battle.
True.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, JD Vance's Spider-Man, his Spidey sense kicked in. Yeah, I saw that too. He's like, let's get out of here. And I saw Trump. This is the thing about Trump. I saw it. He's kind of wanting to stay. And then they push him and they're like, no, get on out. But I could just see Trump he'd be like, of course. You know what I mean? Of course. And again, we don't want to mess around with any kind of life-threatening situation. But the whole idea is that it ruined the night. And everyone was dressed up. That's the other thing I said to Brad, which is really weird, because then we were watching Trump and he mentions it. They were all dressed so nice, even the press. Everybody was all dressed for a special night. And it was just so sad. And that's what they like to do. They like to ruin good things, don't they? They love to ruin good things.
Yeah, they don't want anything happen. When I first had this thought was with Waukesha Christmas parade, where that guy ran over people. And it's just, maybe it's a lone wolf, but I don't know. I think a lot of these things they're just getting these people crazy. But it's like, man, it's they don't even want you to enjoy Christmas. The incident that happened that one year on Easter, they don't want you to enjoy Easter. It's like they want to attach negative tragedies to as many events as they can, so you can't freaking enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, so
good view. Yes.
Okay, it's about to go to that long shot in a second. This is them getting ushered off. Okay, so look, here's JD. right? And then here's Trump again. So I just see it suggested. It was just people just spitballing here. Is that maybe this guy was purposely trying to distract Trump? But I mean, like, dude, if you're trying to set him up to get shot, you're not volunteering to be the guy literally right behind him. So I doubt that's the case. But look, JD just happens to be looking right in the direction and sees it all before Trump. I think that's the only thing that really happened in that respect. He's hacking his chair up. This guy's got him out while this guy's going over in front of Trump. So they're securing him first, rather than it's actually less secure what JD Vance did. If there's an active shooter and they have him just running out in the open, that's actually the less secure move. What they're doing here is this guy's literally standing in front of the president. They surrounded him, secured it first, and then they're going to get him out of it safely. You see, they got him down and secured. JD, they were like, just go for it, bro. So it's actually, in fact, I feel like what happened with JD was handled less accurately. And you can see he looks a little freaked out. He's literally like points and then backs up his seat. Like he's immediately wants out of that situation. So
I do want to say something else. I do remember this from some other instance. It's like a protocol. It is a protocol that when there's active shootings or things happening, they will automatically separate the president and the VP. Because if chain of command is just, you know what I mean? They put separate helicopters, separate whatever. Same thing down to Secretary of State and on. Because it will, that's the whole idea, is that if there was somebody who wants to take us down, they want to take them all down at once. So here it says, yes, it is standard security protocol to separate president and vice president during an active shooter or severe security crisis to ensure the continuity of government, as highlighted in security planning around major events. So that's actually very standard what happened there. They ripped him out.
Directions. Yeah, you see that.
Yeah, but they did take JD Vance first, though. In a way, of highlighting that, I get it. But also, he's a military guy, and you never know. Just people react differently. And poor freaking Trump, he's sitting there like, I'm just getting ready to have a great time.
Can't I just go talk shit on Obama in peace? Is this
exactly
too much to ask?
Yeah.
I just recently downloaded that whole Obama. Well, no, actually, I found an old download of it from the 2011 Correspondents dinner. And man, it's funny what you played the Seth Meyers being a sarcastic little shit like he does. That's bad. But man, I feel like even the Obama part is even worse.
You have that?
Yeah, I was gonna cut it out at some point, and then I have a new project started every single day, and then like 20 things happen, and like I should just start knocking them off. That's why sometimes you'll see I'll post like something a week right after each other, like once or twice a week, rather than usually it takes me a couple of weeks to put a piece together, because some of them are already started. I'll go look at my Obama file, see if I can find that.
Yeah, if you have that, I mean, I think that would be well worth it. That'd be really good. And everybody over here, I see you all in chat. I've got 72 peeps out here. So good to see you, Donna.
72 peeps
out there. You got Angie, Aaron, Olivia. Good to see you, Brass Cubes. Indoctrinated teacher and a video game Discord terrorist. For real, bro. I called the nerd thing. Did I call the nerd thing?
Oh,
they need to look into that for sure. Yeah, I was gonna look that up too.
I have a good post here from Kanakoa. Speaking of which, you just made me think of that. I forgot I was gonna pull this up. So I think I found the Discord logs from the Southern Poverty Law Center's Charlottesville organizer, and they're wild. He talks about running people over with cars It's exactly what happened at Charlottesville, shooting bullets through multiple people in the crowd, and recommends putting screws on flagpoles to impale people, all while coordinating transportation to the event. Okay, so in the indictment, it talks about the plant who was helping with the organizing and being very racist in the process for Charlottesville was also the one organizing transportation. And so he says, Kaneko says his identity matches DOJ indictment because he's the only person in chat organizing transportation. Reid Hoffman also funded a successful lawsuit against 20 plus of the event's organizers, which identifies this guy. For some reason, he wasn't sued. Isn't that interesting? It's the same thing with Ray Epps. They were like people who walked inside the Capitol for 10 freaking minutes, literally just followed the crowd. Soccer moms were put in jail for years. But meanwhile, Ray Epps, who's on camera, saying, we got to go into the Capitol. Come on. He's at the barrier. He's going person to person. He was saying the night before, riling people up talking about this. And that guy, not only was no charges brought against him, there were fluff pieces protecting him in the New York Times. That's how you know this is a paid operative. And here you go, saying for some reason, Reid Hoffman, of all freaking people, has successful lawsuit against 20 of the event's organizers, and that guy wasn't sued. The guy who is talking about running people over with cars, exactly what effing happened, what turned it into the national tragedy that gave them the hysteria they needed to really make it into a event that they used against Trump and us. It says, got checked all the boxes, credit to Data Republican for first identifying him. Yeah, so this is more on the Southern Poverty Law Center. Okay, yeah, we can look for that later. But yeah, again, this is all related. The hysteria that is produced by people like that, and believe me, they are not the only ones putting money behind these fake psychological operation events. That is what has caused your friend of 30 years to now think you're a Nazi. Okay, not because they're a bad person, although at this point it's like, holy shit, you not get it yet, dude? Or have you been that willfully against looking into anything any of us are saying in lieu of what that freaking cutout fake news has been insisting for 10 years? But still, that was done to them. They are victims.
Yeah, that's the thing I was saying that on the other show. I was like, they've been programmed, right? And then you are victims, but once you wake up, then you go, well, I don't have to be programmed anymore. I got to share this with you. You know how we like to highlight Dan. Check out what happened right after this happened. Legends.
Dude. He's a legend.
USA!
He's pissed.
Yeah, dude.
Let him talk to those guys. Anyways, it's a rock and roll with that. I love how these guys, when real shit hits the fan, they don't panic. I mean, obviously, everybody's a little. You do have that fear factor, but do you give into the fear? They don't.
Dude, look how fucking.
They don't.
That gets me so amped up to see that. I love that there is a bunch of freaking New York, tried and true New York City motherfuckers in the White House right now, just taking down these evil fucks. I can't even tell you. This is like the dream of all dreams. And I had said this for so many years. I always call it the green room, but everything I could find, Grok insists that there is no term called the green room in construction. But there is the post discussions where they all argue over who owes what money, right? So you get the head of, the builder, the freaking, Bovis Lend-Lease. You get all the people they hire, the concrete company, all this stuff. They all get together and they say, you owe me this. This spandrel edge was out 2 inches. So the window guys couldn't put the windows on this floor, and then we had to have our laborers chop it. $20,000. Okay. Well, the window guys, they missed this time. $30,000. Okay. Well, this box was cut in the wrong spot, so HVAC couldn't run the things. We had to have that chopped out. You can either pay us $20,000 to have our laborers do it, or you can do it for your own. They negotiate all the different prices, and from what I understand is that at very least there's the backroom ones where it's very heated, and these are like the craziest negotiations ever. It's picture a bunch of people who run construction companies in high-end dollar negotiations, right? So that's the back end Trump. That is, I forget, there was a term that they said is the official term for it. I should memorize that one. That's the Trump we've been waiting to get. I've been waiting to get, and we've had him now since this whole second term, and it's really ramped up where he is not taking any shit from nobody. He's speaking his mind. He's being strong with these people, and he always was, but it's just amped up. You're getting real life New York City Donald Trump, Danny Scavino, all these people. There's no more fucking around.
No more fucking around, dude.
I love it.
100%. Yeah, I saw you guys commenting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyone who grew up in this world has been waiting for this.
Dan's been rocking and rolling. He's been rocking and rolling. The boomerang post just had to show that. So, and it kind of, that's just kind of karma for you, man. What goes around comes around. And, there are comms connected to this. However, it's just the law of nature, especially like if you are a child of the light versus the children of darkness. We're going to have times that we're going to be struggling, and it's going to get hard. And then there's going to be times when all the corrupt deeds that they've done, and I know justice is slow, but it will happen. It will happen. And you have to trust. There's a faith part. This is the spiritual faith part. You have to trust. You have to trust in Trump. You have to trust in your president now. You have to be praying for him. We should all be praying. And it's just like, this is historic, what is happening right now. Later on in the future, you're going to be like, man, I was there for that. That was crazy. So, but it is fluid right now. So keep praying 100%. We're going to find out more about the shooter. Yeah, I should actually look into that. I keep on saying I'm going to look into that. I'm like looking at the Dan Scavino. Let's go.
I know. I keep getting pulled in like 100 different directions. Too. You know what? Maybe I'll do a commercial here real quick while you look for that. Does that sound like a good idea?
Do it.
Okay. Let me pull us this way. And thank you guys for hanging out. By the way, thank you, D-Dallad, for gifting subscriptions. The subscriptions are great. I will say really quick before I do this ad, the subscriptions are great because they get you to see how Rumble Premium is. I urge everyone to go sign up for Rumble Premium. It is just a total home run. But now, this one looks like cool. So it's for a state company, so it's got to be awesome. Today's sponsor is Chicago Steak Company, and they're giving away 8 free steak burgers on every order. Code 8 burgers. Think about the last time you bought burgers at the grocery store. You sat there staring at a wall of plastic wrapped ground beef, trying to figure out which one isn't going to turn to a hockey puck on the grill. Maybe you grabbed the expensive organic pack. Maybe you went cheap. Either way, you got home, fired up the grill, and watched them shrink to half their size, dry in the middle, falling apart through the grates. Chicago Steak Company figured out a better way. They make half-pound steak burgers from USDA prime beef, hand-formed from premium cuts, and ship them to your door on dry ice. These hold together on the grill, stay juicy, and actually taste like steak. So here's the deal. Spend $189 or more on any steaks you want. Use code 8burgers, and they add 8 free steak burgers plus a bottle of steak seasoning plus free shipping to your order. That's $200 in free extras on top of whatever you ordered. 15,000 5-star reviews. These people know what they're doing. Go to mychicagosteak.com/rumble, code 8burgers, link in the description, and get them before they're gone. Amen. Sounds like a good day. If we could get shipping here like that, I would do that in a heartbeat. It's too much. It takes weeks to ship things here.
I know you would, dude. The Homeland Security just put out this clip. I'm gonna play it real quick.
Oh, yes.
I'm a director of the Secret Service. Tonight, we saw exactly what our brave men and women do each and every day to protect our protectees. It's not easy, and I will tell you that they performed admirably. We got to see what they do, and that individual, when he charged a checkpoint, was apprehended. It shows that our multi-layered protection works, and I'm grateful to our partners that help assist us with building these sites and protecting these sites. Very fortunate that this officer is alive, is being observed. I'm grateful that the president reached out to this officer and spoke with him earlier. I ask everybody to pray for him and all of our officers and agents that were involved. And I will tell you, we will continue with the mission. Thank you.
I'll continue with the mission. And yeah, prayers up. And then real quick, this is just another thing, highlight from Trump's.
Respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at people, Abraham Lincoln. I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after.
Respectful.
So that was a little nod there to prior presidents that stood up for what was right, that had either been assassinated or had assassination attempts on their life. Like I was saying, I study assassinations. Trump's very smart. He's a very intelligent person.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he is one of the most read-in people in human history. The fact that the things where I was going through some old interviews the other day from the 80s, and he's talking about problems that still exist today, that existed then, talking about things like, why are we protecting countries overseas who aren't paying us for their protection? We're just for free. We're their military. And why aren't they at very least paying us for it? And things like that, alluding to the specific example he was given at the time was Japan. This alludes to NATO. We've seen a lot.
Yep.
He just recently was saying how it's too late, guys. You were useless when we needed you. You were useless. So what are we doing? We fund almost all of NATO. We did before he came in. He's the one who got them to start paying their fair share. Finally, none of those countries had a problem sticking it to us, sticking it to the American taxpayer. Those countries are your enemy. The other countries in NATO, they think, yeah, we're just doing it to the U.S. No, you're doing it to the United States taxpayer. You're making them pay to protect your country, and you don't care about it. And I like that that's getting called out now. And a lot of them are starting to pay. So eventually we'll be able to leave. And they will be, they should be able to continue on. They should just be protecting themselves in the first place.
Exactly. And they weren't there. They weren't there when we needed them. So it is true. It's like having a friends. You have a group of friends. Oh, yeah, if shit gets hard, I'll be there for you, Tommy. Okay, yeah. All right. And then you're always paying their bill, going out to the, bar, and you're always doing stuff for them. That's like America, right? And then when shit hit the fan and bad Tommy Billy Bob boy comes to town, America looks behind. Guys, where'd you guys go? Anybody? But don't worry, Trump doesn't care. Trump actually did that on purpose. I think he invited them to help, to expose to the world how they don't give a frick about us. They actually don't. And that we were just giving them money. And they were just, they are like a country version of the left that's just like, give me, give me, give me. I want all of your money, and I'm just going to sit on my couch and do nothing. Like, it's wild, but that's what we've been doing. Yeah, but Trump
Very
just,
wild.
and I know we haven't left NATO yet, but it's the idea of showing the world that we don't need them. They're not going to be there for us. Why should we be helping these other countries when our own people suffer? And it's a common sense president. That's what he's doing. It's sometimes the world, the public must be shown, right? The public must be shown. And we're at this point. It's exciting. But definitely be there. Be there for people that are figuring this out. There are people right now on X that are figuring out in my comments. They're like, he wasn't, the birth certificate's fake. And I'm like, yeah, like, but you know, so people are coming around. I think a lot of people our initial reaction would be like, you don't know yet. Like, there's a reason that Q says, you know, be there with open arms. With open arms, we'll be waiting. We need to be there and help guide them, because we're in it together. We're in it together, man. We all got to work together. And yeah.
You say be the calm before, during, and after the storm. And if you don't realize that this is the storm, I mean, we're knee deep in the storm right now. You're out of your mind. I want to talk about some interesting things on both sides of the argument in chat right now. If you think that would be
let's
cool.
go. What we got going on, Shadow?
A few comments here that I think are making good points, but also then pushback. Mantis Mike says, I honestly don't see how we move forward with the modern left. I think examples must be made before any live and let live can exist with them. And okay, so I understand, like, how do we exist with the modern left? They are completely out to lunch at this point, and especially, you know, a lot of people have come around. So who's left? If you still haven't woken up to the scam that is the progressive left push towards a socialist, communist hellscape that they're trying to subvert the United States under over the last however many decades, then there's no hope for you in some arguments. Okay, so I guess another thing to go with this is saying that left and right are definitely living in two different realities right now. Okay, so that is legit. Yeah, the people who are left on the left are definitely living in a different world. So I put up a poll in chat, says, are the modern left a lost cause? And right now it is 71% yes. Unfortunately, that is probably true. But I like this comment from Dave ND2LM. Says, I'm seeing lefty friends come around all the time. I don't know any radicals, though. Yeah, well, I got to say, over this experience, I know I've seen a ton of people come around. I've seen people in my own personal life come around. Even some of them who won't admit it, they'll make comments to make you realize that they get it. They obviously just don't want to be like, you were right, sir. But you could just tell by all of a sudden, it's interesting. For the last 6 months, they haven't said any of their radical leftist crap. And now they're bringing up this and they're bringing up that. So you can tell. I think it's always worth a shot. That's how I feel.
I agree.
And I was just going to say real quick, too, and then for those who haven't backed off the red pilling, right? Because this is something I've been seeing this since 2018. Man, if they ain't awake by now, they ain't never going to be awake. I mean, you just always see that in the truther groups. It's like, well, what if we would have gave up in 2017, 2018? All the people who have woken up in the last 8 years, a good chunk of them wouldn't exist. No, I'm sorry. I didn't cut you off there.
Oh, no, I was just writing down what I was going to say so I didn't lose it.
Yes.
Now it's because of that I've lost it.
No, oh my gosh.
It's okay. It was about the left and the right. Oh, yes. I have a radical view, Brad. Can I be radical?
It's my radical wife, everybody.
Okay. And then I actually don't think it's radical, but it will sound radical. So our founding fathers in the beginning of our country, there was no left and right. people just voted on who they wanted. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Brad? Isn't that in the beginning? They just voted. There was no left and right.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely different camps. You could see that in the Federalist Papers. They're going back and forth. But right, there's no specifically defined left-wing, right-wing, conservative, liberal.
Yes.
It's just a bunch of people trying to figure out how to start a country. And that it does start to split as you get into the 1800s, but 100%.
Okay, so to my point is that to loop back around, to always think, what is the whole point? They want you divided. Now, we don't want people to not have free thought. We want people to have diverse thought about all these topics and think for yourself about all of these things. And then let's say there's a candidate, for example, running, and this is the extreme part where I'm saying, I wish there wasn't left and right in that regard, because technically the left is dead. I do see what you guys are saying. I agree. We don't want that. It's actually terrible for our country. It's a low frequency because what is it? Where is their mindset? Hate, anger, not good enough, hate your neighbor, hate race, hate everybody. That doesn't serve us. That's also not Christian. And I've heard people argue this. Charlie Kirk, God bless his soul, I think he said, you cannot be a Democrat and be a Christian. And people freaked out on him. But he is right. And I'm not talking about the regular Democrats. Listen, I understand, like, you're under the name and you're voting that. Like, if you're based and you woke up, I get it. But I'm saying, if you're still like,
you're talking like hardcore progressives, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm talking about if you still just think it's like, oh yeah, ICE. I hate ICE. Open up those borders. I'm totally fine with the Americans being raped and pillaged. I'm totally fine with us giving all of our money to foreign aid that is just literally, I don't know, making weapons to blow us up with. Like, if you're there, yeah, that part doesn't serve us. We need to, that just needs to go. And it will go naturally. This is how we do it. This is what the Great Awakening is about. Mindset is everything. We need to be like, this doesn't serve us anymore. We will not vote you in. This is beyond politics. It's beyond left and right. It's about common sense. It's common sense. Who's going to serve their fellow man? Who's going to be good? So I'll wrap it up, Brad. Just like, I don't know. I always hated the left and right. I remember being a kid waking up and going like, there's two parties. Why? We're just Americans. We're just Americans. Like, why is there? Anyways, that's my
It's Coke, Pepsi. It's the way to keep us always fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Baby, you're so smart. I love you.
I'm vibing it.
Now I found this is the White House correspondent. See, this is why I say to have archive offline, and this is why I always make sure to label everything, because I just pinged my computer. It was been going this entire time through my whole computer.
For real?
And I finally just found a news report from 2011 that I downloaded in July of 2018 about this is Obama mocking Trump in the 2011 White House Correspondents' dinner. I get the feeling like this was supposed to be the rebuttal to that. It kind of sucks that they were effectively able to stop that. But yeah, let's watch this.
President Obama spoke to the annual White House Correspondents' dinner last night. He had some words about potential Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump, who was sitting in the audience.
All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
Trump responded today to the president's ribbing, telling Fox News, quote, "You rise to a certain level in the polls, and boy, does the world come after you."
Yeah, amen. that is exactly how it goes. And big joke. Oh, yeah, you know, they're very slick the way he denounces him. Oh, boy, because he was on the TV show, and there were celebrities there, and obviously it's a bit of a wild situation when you put it out like that. But the truth is, this guy is one of the most successful people ever. I love it when people are like, he's a failed person and he sucks and he's stupid. Oh yeah, Donald Trump is stupid. The guy who turned $1 million into $2 billion, who has his name all over Manhattan, who had successful TV shows and all these other things, and became president after not a single day as a politician. Yeah, what a stupid idiot that guy is. Ben Shapiro used to say that. Ben Shapiro in 2016, for all the different times he's flip-flopped and pretended to support Trump, in the run-up to 2016 election, he was knocking down President Trump. I will never, ever forget it. Not that I watched him a lot, but obviously he was a conservative influencer who was around, who would wreck these people. So he was on my radar, and he was so anti-Trump. And then the fallback after Trump had won the election and got in, he would say things like, well, like President Trump, who kind of bumbled his way into the presidency. He would say stuff like almost like it was an accident, or like he was just a buffoon and somehow tricked people into things. And I've heard him say that President Trump is unintelligent before. Maybe not that exact words, but implying that he was unintelligent. And I thought to myself, Donald Trump is more intelligent than 55 friggin' Ben Shapiro's. I don't care how fast you talk. I don't care how many stats you can pull up in your mind. It's just laughable the way some of these shills go about it, and they try to denigrate this guy.
Dude, I know. And that just shows you you're over the target. This is way beyond politics, like we're saying. We're in the battle. We're in the battle that we knew this day would come, right? Remember? We knew this day would come. And it's just patriots standing up for what's right. And I had pulled this up. Hold on.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was like, did I actually hit that?
Yeah, no. So Zach C17 says, I've red-pilled a bunch of lefty friends who I know are now stealth mode red-pilled, but are scared to talk. Nailed it with this.
That's the case with a lot of people.
Nailed it. That is what's happening. So remember, they're out there and they're watching. So we're the news now. Just cover it good and be positive. Be a light in dark places, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing.
You smile on the faces.
Yeah, we're the spark, right? We're the spark that ignited us. Well, technically QT, but hot tip to you guys. Love ya.
But the reason why they're afraid to talk is because people like this still exist. And these dark-hearted demons who walk among us.
Why can none of you fucking aim across a grassy knoll in the back of a moving car? We were real Americans.
Whoa.
Stop pulling the trigger unless you fucking have the shot.
Are you kidding me? And the great part is, or I guess the sad part is, this person is probably virtual signaling to everyone in her life all day long. Total moral superiority complex. It's what they all have. Moral superiority complexes. And it has emboldened them to just be nasty, hateful, dark hearts for a long time at this point. They've been on this bent for a very long time. And I don't know, the ones who wake up, they are almost always quite embarrassed about it. Here's another one, SC Cup. And she used to be, I've told you many times, I used to watch a lot of Red Eye back in the day. It was pretty much the only politics I would watch. Not that I watched it every day, but they would have, the liberal opinion there kind of as the foil, right? That they go back and forth. And she was one of them. And I thought she was freaking annoying then. And here she is being incendiary. This is apparently, hold on. 30 minutes before a shooter fired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with Trump in attendance. This is what she says.
The Correspondents Association was trying to sort of mend some fences with a guy who wants us dead, figuratively. Figuratively, he wants journalism dead. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think this is a great night for journalism. It's a night that's meant to be celebrating it, but I think it's a real bummer. Is it
Yeah, just say figuratively. But this is a perfect example of the incendiary talk and the amount of escalation that they have added to anything that's going on. And here's the wild part. If you just look at Trump's policies and the things he did in his first term and the things he's been doing on this term, I freaking love it. They're really good policies. He's been a really good president. They're the ones who have turned this into a nightmare for their base. They literally have the mainstream left-wing media, which is about 95% of the media in this country, have spent 10 years terrorizing every last person who follows them. Every single one of them. They wake up in the morning and they go, "Oh, what's on the news today? Donald Trump took a drink of water. Wrong. Look at the way he held the glass. Look at him. He didn't even hold his umbrella over Melania's head." Every day it does it from the most mundane examples like that to anything else, anything he passes. Remember when he made the first tax cuts during the first administration, and there was report after report after report telling you why cutting your taxes was bad and was going to hurt you in the long run.
They actually ran with that? How did you run with that? Yeah, tonight
Nancy
so
Pelosi on explaining to you why they're actually, this is not a good thing. The First Step Act, they give them the reducing mandatory minimum sentences and giving people a chance to rehabilitate themselves, nonviolent offenders. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It didn't get too many people out of jail. Well, it's a program. If the people want to try, they have a chance to leave jail early now if they were nonviolent offenders. And it did actually help a lot of people. But there was the news. They were either not covering it, which is a example when something's like a grand slam, or
Sorry, I'm just looking at it. I'm putting it. I'm sorry, I'm throwing you off. I'm looking at the dude.
Your thought, but you guys get what I'm saying, yeah. Yeah, what a freaking punk, dude.
Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much all I'm saying with that, but it's true. Here you go. Okay, here's another one. 3 days ago, this guy. Oh my gosh! I mean, this guy. It's not even surprising at this point. Was Hassan Piker? He's a horrendous piece of shit. There's no words enough to see what a terrible human being this guy is. Literally just calling for death all the time, calling for the worst things ever against right wingers. This is from 3 days ago, apparently.
Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them.
Wow. This is what the left. There are a lot. These are the people who are lost on the left. They're following people like him. This guy's got millions of followers. I don't understand. I don't know. I even get weirded out when they'll say something in the comments. We'll be talking about the worst thing ever. So it's not like it's the crazy unwarranted. We're like, these people should be hung for treason, which the implication is that they had a fair trial first and found guilty of treason and then hung. But even that, even though that's referencing a literal process with on the books punishment for that process, I even get weirded out when people say that stuff in the chat. This is a dude who's just out and out saying, yeah, kill someone simply because they wouldn't rent the house. I don't even know 100% what they're talking about here, but this is like the type of guys like that Luigi guy who shot the healthcare official. Listen, the healthcare insurance companies, they're rackets. I mean, they're charging you so much more than you need to. It's a total scam that screws everybody. That guy's he's doing his job. It's not necessarily, this is the system, the way it's set up. You just to go murder that dude, that is not the right way. That is disgusting. And there are people who think that dude's a hero for what he did. They would think this guy, if someone took this guy's advice, there were others who would think they were a hero. And this is what leftist communists do. They have violent revolutions. This is like the revolution and that took over Russia in the 1910s. It was violent. They murdered and murdered and murdered and murdered and murdered. This is when the communists took over China. They murdered and murdered and murdered and murdered. And then the people who were left, they got to live in this shitty system for God knows how long. For Russia, it took 80 years before they were finally be able to be free of that garbage. And this is just what they do. They're violent. They're murderous. And this is why it's an ideology that is not compatible with Western society.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like people coming out now. See, it's all connected, by the way. Like, people are finding out now that the Nazis and the KKK and all that have been live and well.
Yeah.
And they've been being funded by certain groups and peoples. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane to think that, but this is the reality. And I think this is a great way to start opening up the idea of the deep state to the normal, regular minded people, and no offense. I think it's a great way to roll into it because people are aware, right, of these types of hate things. We hate people, but it's like starting. It's starting from that angle, but then I think it's going to start spreading to like, well, did you know that the whole population has been exposed to the biggest propaganda you have ever witnessed in the history of the earth to hate a man? Because why? Because I mean, I have theories, but we'll just say he found out something and he got a few other people that said, hey, he's like, you want to stand with me to the end and expose these motherfuckers? And they're like, yeah, let's go. We'll do it. Yes,
do it,
sir.
man.
That happened. I don't know how it happened. I don't know when it happened, but I know at one point that happened. And he will not back down. Like, I was looking at just a few of these things that Trump said. He's like, they come out there and he has no fear. And he said he didn't even want to leave, right? And he said that speech, it was going to be rough. He said it's going to be rough and it was going to rip them through. This is a quote. And he said something about look at the big names, that there was big names. So like, anyway, there was a definite prevention of, there was moves and counter moves that happened today. However, I just love how he came out strong. And he's like, we're not backing down. You're not going to scare us. You're not going to threaten us. We are going nowhere. And they're standing out there in their tuxedos. That was also cool. When we were live streaming that, I was taking live stream screenshots of like, this is legend. Like, Trump's out there with a black bow tie and like, like, we'll continue this another day. Cheerio. No, it was great though. I think they handled it really well.
Yeah, they really did. They handled it perfect. Thankfully, I guess no one, hopefully that Secret Service member is going to be okay. I think that's who got shot, right? Or security guard?
Yes. Actually, I'll pull it up. Well, give me a minute.
Yeah, here, I'll pull this up in the meantime because it's just another example of how disgusting a lot of the people that we're up against are. And this is Lincoln Project, surprise, co-founder Steve Schmidt. He blamed President Trump. This is just moments after the gunman.
Don't we have is there a rhetoric problem? I mean, it's the third time you're trying to kill the president.
I think that there's one person beyond and above all others who's responsible for poisoning the rhetoric in America. That guy's name is Donald Trump.
You're saying it's the president's fault that people keep trying to kill him?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
He poisoned.
It's people like him who is the problem. If they would have just let this guy be president, none of this would happen. Instead of just letting him, hey, let's give Donald Trump a shot at the presidency, they went crazy. They freaking Hillary started the Russiagate scandal with Obama. The whole Obama administration went to war with him from day one before the election even freaking happened. You have jokers like this started these hateful organizations. The media went into full hate mode. They have caused this. Trying to dole that off onto President Trump is a travesty.
I asked him, like, do we have a rhetoric problem? He said the president has done more to poison the rhetoric. I mean, the president's supporters are the ones shooting people. But they keep shooting him. It's not the other way around.
Federal agents shot 2 American citizens, and they were called domestic terrorists. But again, these two things have no connection. He's an insurrectionist, the foremost domestic enemy of the Constitution and American history. He is a vile and disgusting man, a convicted sex predator, and likely a pedophile. And tragically, he's the president of the United States.
And are you kidding me, dude? This guy just had an attempt on his life, and this disgusting piece of shit is calling him a pedophile and a sexual predator. And you know that is bullshit. You guys know that is bullshit, and you're going to hell for consistently pushing it. Ugh. Fuck this disgusting animal. That's all right. They get me so mad. Sometimes it's like, yeah, like, all right, man, center yourself, bro. But they are vile. They are vile scum. And none of this would be coming out of us. Again, if you were to just let Donald Trump have a go at it, we'd be covering the same way. I love the things they're doing. We love covering that on MAGA vs. the World, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, and going through the different things his administration is doing and all the different updates from the administration. And we love it. And that's what we'd be doing. And some people are like, hey, I don't like that policy. And it'd be a normal pushback. But that is not what they did. They they went psycho mode, which is why you knew something was up. And then obviously with the post on 4chan and 8chan with the Trump administration's back channel posts, we realized, oh, okay, this is why they're going so crazy, because they're trying to take it down.
Yeah, the battle is real. That's the thing. And you know, we do have we're kind of read in a way. Oh, sorry, my mic's all over here. We're kind of read in a way of the plan, and it's a pretty basic plan. You know, expose the enemy from within. But this is, I know we've seen it, but this has like,
your run of the will, expose the enemy plan. No big deal.
This has like more of the sound. You can hear the gunshots way better, the 4 shots. I know the other version didn't.
It's that we're easy.
Oh, come on. Do you hear that? Okay, right there, Melania's face. That was what I focused on right away.
Okay, yeah. So they realized something.
Yeah. So just like, just the gunshots. So there was 4 shots. And so we'll see more hopefully as time goes on. But, when was that happening? You probably know better than me. Was that after? So he did that and then he ran, right?
Well, yeah, they didn't run right away. I mean, he goes under the table for a second and you can see that they secured him first. Just definitely that is the move. It's funny when we were going through it, I was having that thought. I was like, well, actually, what they did, just having Vance run is like the worst thing with an active shooter, right? You want to secure that guy.
Yeah, no, I was talking about I was talking about the shooter. I was talking about the guy, the shooter. But yeah, 100% about that though.
Well, no, say it again then.
Oh, I was just saying that the 4 shots, was it boom, 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 and then he ran and rushed the beeper detectors? Because like I don't know the timeline. I've been trying to find the timeline.
He shot after, but who knows?
Okay, and then maybe that was them going boom, boom, but he clearly shot somebody. So were the other 4 shots the Secret Service? I'm still trying to get down to the bottom of that detail. But yeah, I was able to find a few things, but now I lost it.
Here, while you get that up, I will
over here
tell everyone about Emerald Med. If you want to get your ducks in a row for a second, let's see. I want to share about a farming family supporting this channel. 8 years ago, their brother returned from Afghanistan with significant injuries and lost his ability to function. We can't share his exact story because of FDA restrictions, but friends kept suggesting CBD. So they tried dozens of CBD products, but nothing helped. Out of frustration, they began to create their own. They started making it to help friends and family have CBD that they knew was as clean and powerful as possible. Then doctors started asking to carry it, and it took off. Now they speak at medical conventions and help others across the United States. While most companies have 1 to 10 compounds in CBD oil, their oil has up to 50. They have 8 things that make their products different. They make bombs, gummies, pet products, etc., but they're called Emerald Med. You should check these guys out and get their CBD. And if you don't notice a big difference, they'll actually provide a refund. If you want to support a business that supports our channel and free speech with marketing dollars, and if you need a source for CBD that's real, they're running a special right now because it's their company's anniversary. You can click the link below and try Emerald Med's 40% off today. Get extreme muscle and joint relief, get significant inflammation and circulation support, support quality sleep, or even daytime calm. They're worth a try at least once. Just click the link below and use the code for 40% off up to 2 items today. Oh, and thank you guys for hanging out, by the way. It means a lot. And should I add? Abby, there we go.
Oh, look at it coming up. I have something here. So Dan's Gavino just posted this. Oh, wait, I just stopped my share. Hold on. Share screen. I agree with this. So it's like 8 minutes ago. He says, in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our differences peacefully. President Trump. So maybe that was from Trump. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what he said, and he's just quoting it.
Yeah, maybe that's a quote from the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But 100% agree. We do need to resolve our differences, which we found out, Brad. So we've been covering all your videos you've been putting out, that a lot of it was made up. They made you racist. Something? They divided the home. They made the wife hate the husband. They made the kids hate the parents. They came for them in the schools. And you know, we've tracked this, right? Yeah. So there's like, we need to unify now. We need to understand who the real enemy is, right? The hidden enemy, I think that's what Trump called it a long time ago. Yeah. Expose them.
Yeah. The hidden enemy.
Thank goodness.
It's a great way to put it.
Oh yeah.
They are increasingly out in the open, and it's all people like this community just exposing.
Yep. So, okay. And then what was the other thing I was going to grab? Okay. So are you awake? Do you see for yourself the MSM propaganda tool of the left? Do you see Facebook, Twitter, Google censoring non-left points of views? So those types of things are coming out now. Like even the press conference when Peter Doocy was like, you know, what's this mean like for America? Like it means that we need to wake up now. Do you see the corruption? Yeah. Do you see the evil? Are you a slave? Are you controlled? Are you a sheep? Are you awake? Do you think for yourself? And this is just so excited to be at this time. And yes, everybody out here, by the way, I love you all in my chat. Please give me thumbs up. Please share the stream if you guys like it. And then also jump over to Brad's because Brad's also simulcasting this. Go give him thumbs up and like it.
The cross-pollination thumbs up. Here, I have I have a side view here.
Oh, beautiful.
That we could check out.
Yeah, it's kind of tight what's being put out, except for just like on the news here. Yeah. That's what I'm coming across.
I think as we're live here, more and more things will start popping up. This is Colin Rugg. He says the White House Correspondents' dinner shooter was armed with a shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives, according to D.C. Police Chief Jeffrey Carroll. Shooter was identified as 31-year-old teacher Cole Allen from Torrance, California. He emerged from a makeshift room near the entrance where there was no security near where bar carts were stored. According to the New York Post, This was planned, dude. This was totally planned.
Wait, a fake room was made? Hold up.
So it's
Rewind.
a makeshift room, I guess, that they were using to prepare bar carts and stuff like that. Oh, that's interesting. You know, there's another thing I just passed that I kind of had a different opinion of what the poster was saying. So I'll go to it in a second, but keep this. He emerged from a makeshift room near the entrance where there was no security, where the bar carts were stored, according to the New York Post. He was in that room. He grabbed it out of a bag or something. The weapon was long and didn't look like a typical gun. A witness who was a volunteer at the event told the Post. So it was waiting there, like when they're freaking the Salazzo hit in Godfather 1, where Sonny tapes the gun behind the bathroom stall. Oh my God, dude, these people. It's funny that the FBI is messing with the Italian mafia. The deep state conglomerate that runs this country makes the Italian mafia look like the Apple dumpling gang. It's just insane. But meanwhile, there'll be a million movies again vilifying Italians, but don't say anything about the government, because this is reportedly believed that Allen was a guest at the Hilton Hotel where the dinner took place. Okay, and here's this angle. This is from them getting Vance, and you can see Trump in the background. Did he trip over someone? Or did they kind of pull him down? Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this again, if that's okay.
Go, go, go. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
they
protocol.
pushed him down.
Separate. Yeah, separate. He's always like, dear God, I just want to eat my steak. That's why I hate the deep state. See, that's the idea. Like, I don't have any sauce or evidence connecting to it, right? I get it. But come on. This was definitely done on purpose. This was definitely a message.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, if what this is saying is true, obviously this is early on, right? So sometimes things get thrown out that wind up not being the case. But if this is true, and that it was by a makeshift room, and that he grabbed this gun out of a bag or something, that means this was a complete setup. That means this guy, dude, I'd be waterboarding this dude immediately. Who are you working for? Who hired you? How did this happen? But I'll tell you what, this is what I think was interesting, because it all happened near the bar carts. And so I had just passed this and saying, see, there you have press members stealing wine bottles. This is who the press is, repugnant. And in my head, I was like, well, it's an event where they're, these bottles are just going to be thrown in the thing. I'd probably grab one too, right? Or, when you get the complimentary wine at a wedding or something like that, or maybe that's not the case. But
so funny though.
If this was set up at the bar cart, and here's the liberal press grabbing wine, making sure they're grabbing all the bottles of wine.
Scary and terrible events, but it's not.
Is there something? I mean, maybe there's connection there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Was there something also?
Tragically, we've covered
like with the booze, were certain tables going to get certain things that? But I don't know. Maybe not. That's now we're going conspiracy brain, but it's something. It's interesting.
I love this talk. See, Brad, that's where I go. That's where I go. Yeah. It's like, what happened? This was supposed to be something. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be something, and it was stopped.
Yeah, so they stopped something for sure. That was a setup. It's a makeshift bar room. Grabbed it out of the friggin' thing. He knew to bolt past. I don't know.
So I have a pretty simple. I got a breakdown here of like the overview of what kind of happened. You want me to read through it real quick?
Love it. Yeah.
Okay, so the shooting occurred at around 8:40 p.m. At Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. Make sure I'm okay. I'm muted. During the White House Correspondents' dinner, which President Donald Trump attended as a sitting president for the first time. Whoa, I'm huge. I don't know why I can't just be like a regular.
I tried to make you full screen, so it's like you're giving a report. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm trying
no, go
things here,
ahead.
guys. I don't know.
Go ahead. That's great. I'll roll with it. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, maybe you start over because I got distracted.
Roger that. All right, the shooting occurred around 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Washington Hilton Hotel, Washington, D.C., during the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which President Donald Trump attended as a sitting president for the first time. The incident took place near the main magnetometer security screening area, which is the checkpoint, which is what you guys see in the video there. Maybe we could pull that video up of that guy running again. The ballroom, so the checkpoint outside the ballroom, not inside of it. Shots were fired as a suspect tried to breach security and reach the event. So he was going there. The hotel is the same location as the 1981 attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan. There is a historical parallel noted here. The event was immediately disrupted. Trump First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and the cabinet members were evacuated safely by the Secret Service. No injuries to the protectees or attendees were reported beyond one officer. The dinner was canceled and will be rescheduled within 30 days. Now, here's the shooter background that I was able to gather. His name is Cole Tomas Allen, also referred to as Cole Tomas Allen or Cole Allen, 31 years old, from Torrance, California. He was a registered guest at the Washington Hilton, staying on site as a hotel guest, which reportedly aided his access.
I wonder when he got it. They should look into when he booked this. That could be a
Yeah.
clue.
See, we all need to jump on all of this.
Are pulling all these threads. See what unravels.
His occupation and background, he worked as a tutor, part-time at C2 Education, a private tutoring center in Torrance. Recently named Teacher of the Month. Images of award from late 2025 circulated. So there is a video of a Teacher of a Month of him out there. We will track that down. Linked to California Institute of Technology, Mechanical Engineering Studies, and possible NASA internship. Dear God, I just seen this. 2014 planetary mapping models. Dude, this is freaking weird. Okay. 2014 planetary mapping models per unverified links. So they're saying unverified. One record shows a $25 donation to Kamala Harris in the 2024 campaign via Act Blue.
Oh, breaking out the big books. Oh, Act Blue. That's another one that's been on the chopping
That's what I was
block.
going to say. Act Blue is just being proven. So This is very interesting. Described by officials and Trump as a lone wolf. This is what they had been saying. I did note that they were highlighting this. Lone wolf, and they highlighted also acting alone. We'll see about that. No known accomplices or ties to larger groups. Motive remains under investigation.
What could the motive be?
It has not been publicly disclosed.
What is it?
Trump referred to him as a, quote, sick person. These people are sick, aren't they?
Yeah, these people are sick. That's for
All right.
sure.
So he was armed with a shotgun. He also had a handgun, and it says that he had multiple knives, the Guardian reported. He's charged past Secret Service checkpoint near the ballroom entrance. Fired multiple shots. Okay, so it was after the fact. So Naruto run first, shots
It doesn't
after.
look like he's firing, yeah.
At least one report hitting an officer, which has been confirmed. He was quickly chased, tackled, and apprehended by Secret Service and law enforcement. The incident lasted 25 seconds. Wikipedia down to the second here. Let's go. Suspect was not shot by law enforcement. He was, however, taken into custody alive, transported to the hospital, Howard University Hospital, for evaluation. That's the last report of where he was taken. He faces preliminary federal charges, including using a firearm during a crime of violence and assaulted on a federal officer with a dangerous weapon. More charges are to be expected. Court appearance likely soon. Fox News is saying possibly Monday. The one U.S. Secret Service agent, so we were wondering about his condition, was shot in the bullet-resistant vest. So thank God. Hit at close range with a powerful weapon, but is expected to recover fully. He is hospitalized and reported to be in good condition. No other injuries or deaths reported. Trump and all protectees were confirmed safe. And we have Trump's responses. Of course, what we've seen, Trump has posted on Truth Social, praising Secret Service and law enforcement for quick action, shared photos of the handcuffed suspect on the hotel floor, great pictures, and surveillance. There's the CCTV footage of the breach. He, of course, later held the press conference that we just watched. FBI, Secret Service, and the DC Police and the U.S. Attorney's Office, Janine, are investigating actively. The area is treated as an active crime scene right now. So, yeah. That's pretty much the update that I got.
Yeah, that's a great bullet point go through. And I just want to say what's up to everyone who just joined us. I see by Tron. He raided the stream. Yeah. What's up, brother? What's up, everyone? Welcome. We are just been going through everything we can find. More stuff has been popping up. It just came to this. This is footage of Erica Kirk being escorted out. She was backstage and saying just wants to go home.
I just want to go find
Just came off an incident like this. This stuff feels like so long ago. That was September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. You're talking just 7 months ago. You know, her husband was violently murdered by one of these crazed lunatics. And this is why it's so important, too, to do, you know, what the QOP and what President Trump are doing is, this isn't just, hey, I'm going to be a better president than the last president. This is a whole pushback on the psychological operation that was put on Americans that turned half your freaking friends into crazy leftist progressive lunatics because they're trying to start a violent communist revolution. They've been working towards it for 50 years in this country. It's really ramped up in the last 2 to 3 decades, and that has had severe consequences. And we are watching these type of consequences go down in real time. And it turned normal people who I went to high school with in the late 90s, who then when my one friend made me join Facebook in late 2008, early 2009, I just remember being horrified. I was detached from the internet for a good decade after graduating high school. You know, I was playing in the band. I was working construction in the city. I just wasn't aware that this was happening. And I remember you joined Facebook, right? I did it in 2009. All of a sudden, I'm getting friend requests. Everyone you talk to for 7 minutes in English class is friend requesting, and you're like, hey, I kind of remember you. And you're like, all right. So now you have this whole timeline of half your neighborhood and the things that they were saying. I was like, I felt like I was dropped in a Twilight Zone episode. And that was my first instance where I realized how much everything changed. And I missed the whole MySpace deal. I kind of went and I was doing AOL a little bit in the beginning, but we were just coordinating like, yo, meet me at the boardwalk. Yeah. And then everything went MySpace. And again, you know, started working in the city and, you know, the band, we were just playing these metal bars and stuff. And I kind of just lost interest in the computer. And, you know, except for like looking things up on Yahoo and random stuff like that. Right. you don't lose your desire for information. But as far as just this whole social media, I never joined MySpace. I joined Facebook years late. I didn't know what was happening, so it happened fast. And everyone were liberals. And I remember at that time, there was a lot of this atheism. And I swear, when I went into this kind of blackout in the late 90s, computer blackout, pretty much everyone was just normal. Like, oh, what are you? Oh, I'm Catholic. Oh, yeah, I'm Methodist. Oh, Eric, he's Baptist. And not that we all were like going to church all the time. It was great Christians, but it was just a normal thing. Everyone grew up as something. Atheism was like this weird offset.
Yes.
But now here I am on the internet, 2009, 2010, 2011. You can't even tell someone like, hey, man, I'll pray for you. That sucks that XYZ happened. They were like, you believe in prayer? You'd get swarmed by these people. Like, you believe in flying spaghetti monsters? You were like, just these nasty atheist posts everywhere, people you knew. And they would pop up. Like the second you mentioned anything, they'd pop out of nowhere. And then just start bullying you. They're basically the equivalent to what they are now. What they were then with the atheists now is the flat earthers. You can't even be like, hey, the moon looks cool tonight. You believe the moon is real? Like they pop out of the woodwork. Like, whoa, I don't know, dude. I mean, it sure looks real. Like, well, what? Like, you believe NASA? It's like, bro, I'm talking about how cool the stars look tonight. Relax, okay? Yeah. And so that's how they were just like, they populate you. And that's when you know something's a psyop. That was a psyop. They get in everyone. And then it's like this whole air of just attacking people. And they really spread atheism. It was already spread at that point. But then I just watched it. And now it's like a normal thing among the academic elite. Even the thought that there might be a God is like laughable. You believe that is just religion was made up to control the masses.
Yeah.
Okay, guy, you uneducated hick. That's the same thing too with anything pertaining to any space. You're just not allowed to enjoy anything going on with any space programs, any sort of.
I'm always on the edge, like where it's like, well, there's just things I might not know, but until I know, I'm not going to run with something. That's kind of stupid, right? Just it's what I know. I know what I know, right? Sorry to mean to cut you off, but yeah, it is sad that there's always the negative ones that will jump on and pull you away. Yeah. To go on to what you were saying about Facebook, right? It just really made me think about something. So like how like during like Nazis, gonna talk about the Nazis. They were really like wanting people to do like neighborhood watch, and watch your neighbors, make sure that they're being good. And if they're not, report it to the state, that kind of thing. Is it interesting that you've had that same experience we all did when we went on Facebook? Here is your whole life log, right? Everybody follow me? Here's your whole life log of your life, and the neighborhood watch, your friends are going to make sure that everybody's the same group think, and nobody question these other things. That's maybe what happened with that. Maybe that's some part of the big investments that were put in Facebook. Okay. Because there's Silicon Valley, like, look, I love technology and I love all the new technology. Let's go. But it had been hijacked by the deep state. And I think LifeLog was highlighted specifically by Q because he's saying, you guys need to understand. They're watching you and monitoring. They're figuring out what makes you tick, what makes you talk, what's going to make you click something more than the other. They have figured out your brain. But the cool thing is, now that you know that, you're like, I'm going to scrap my brain. You can't track me. I'm going to think of myself. And it's great. So, yeah, I feel like, though, that was a big group. Like everybody has to think the same way. If you do, we're going to report you. It's the same concept, how, LifeLog or Facebook, and, you have to fit in this thing. You can't be happy about the Trump administration. Oh, hell. Yeah, right. I'm going to be happy about Trump administration.
What are you, a cheerleader?
Yeah.
Are you a cheerleader? Like anything. You're like, hey, man, that's pretty cool. What? You're just a cheerleader. And people are like, there's like a parade going by right now. I mean, like, dude, did you do what he got arrested Maduro, took out the Ayatollahs, taking out freaking cartel gang leaders, and it like you just like list off 100 things, and then like you see like the parade, right? And it just zooms past into like this curtain, this kind of peeked out curtain in this dark room, and all of a sudden the camera goes into the room. It's just all the lights off. And this guy's just looking at us like, cheerleaders. What are you, a cheerleader? Don't you know that everything's fake? Don't be happy about anything. No, nothing's going to happen. It's all fake. Just go back to sleep. Like, okay, clear, obvious plant.
Yeah.
Fucking losers, dude.
100%. I've seen a lot of people talking about that too. That's also coming out of the woodwork, and we've seen it on all different angles, all these big accounts that they embedded themselves into our movement. They said they were MAGA, but we all kind of knew they weren't in the beginning. We got it. But they were big names and they said the right stuff. And hey, where are we going? We go, all right, sure. But then no, they coordinated obvious. You guys are so pathetic, by the way, the spooks out there.
Yeah,
you can't even make it look natural. You can't even freaking. So they're all like, whoop. Did I get my turn on Trump alarm go? Oh, all right. Here we go, boys. Trump is terrible now, apparently. Even though he just got in and is doing the most that any president has ever done in a lifetime, in 100 lifetimes. But now,
the only one to even try. Forget about how successful he's been. The only one to even try. Like, don't you want to be objective? What? I thought the Q posts said freedom of thought, right? And that, you just want everyone can think whatever they want, right? Right? Well, they punch you in the face every freaking day at every one of their shows, and they're like, "What? Why are you mad?" We didn't mean you, Brad. We just met someone who has all your same thoughts, opinions on everything, and does exactly what you've been doing for the 8 years. But we didn't meet you. Well, you didn't hear me say the name Brad, right? I didn't say Brad because you're a pussy. That's why. Sorry. I gotta relax myself a little bit.
Now the battle is real. The battle is freaking real.
The battle is real. Fake people are fake, and you don't have to put up with them.
Yeah, not any longer.
Nope.
And Brad, you're right. I'm at my core nice, but I had to draw that line. Excuse me? I had to draw that line. Drawing lines are important, especially when you're standing for what is right. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. This man is doing everything that our founding fathers would be congratulating Trump right now and saying, you are legend, just like us. You are caring. It's not born. Nope. Okay, think about this. Ronald Reagan, they tried to assassinate him in the same place right there, Trump. What did he say? Ronald Reagan said, freedom is not born in our bloodstream. This liberty, we have to be vigilant. Being vigilant means you don't go to sleep. There is night watch. That those motherfuckers are always trying to find a way infiltrate. And so that's what we got to do. And I'm sorry if we have to stand up against people that said they were MAGA and completely have turned on Trump. I'm sorry. What else does that make you other than you're on the opposite side?
This is the only shot. This is the only shot at it right now. Okay. And there's no amount of money or anything that's going to make any of us real people give up what we're doing. Shit, I nerfed $150,000 a year job to do this at the time for nothing. My YouTube was not monetized when I did that. I had a small Patreon for a couple $100 a month that I was starting to build. And then a year later, they knocked that out when I got the $600 and then deleted me. And then I really did it again for nothing for a long time. Okay. So you know what? It doesn't matter. At some point, when you realize something is a toxic and against anything you believe in, you have to leave. I will read 50-cent Rumble ads forever, as opposed to supporting something that I don't believe in. These people are going out and telling people not to vote. not voting is the death nail in everything that has happened. Everything that Trump has done, any progress that is made, that is the death nail. Anyone telling you that, or especially making it their whole thing, that is an agent of evil. They are either directly working for the enemy or they don't even realize it, but they are working for the enemy. And that is, if you're going into explicit deep dive rants on why people should give up their right to representation, the very thing that our forefathers fought for, I'm very suspicious of you. And again, that is the death nail and everything. Yeah, we understand that they cheat like hell in these elections, but to just give up, oh my God, that's the deep state's wet dream. That's like literally, they're like, please. And that's why they are injecting these people into your comments. That's why they're there all the time. Also, too, I'm very suspicious of the don't pay your taxes stuff. Listen, taxes are disgusting. I love that they're working on, Donald Trump is working on cutting them. He has a lot of people like Bassett and others who are working on, hey, maybe to lower them as much as humanly possible, and that is the right way. But anyone who's trying to corral you into just like you, Joe, public American who can't afford a lawyer, can't afford anything, into just gambling on not paying your taxes, that is a honeypot. That is a setup. Dude, not paying your taxes is how they took down Al Capone. It's how what they used, that's the end that they used to murder Bill Cooper.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, are you out of your mind? This is the mafia on steroids right now who run this stuff. To get someone to just put themselves, a regular housewives and just a normal everyday Americans, to get them to try and convince someone to put themselves in that danger, it is criminal beyond belief. And that's not simping for taxes. Listen, I will talk all day about Woodrow Wilson and the 16th Amendment and the freaking awfulness that it is. And it is a crime against humanity what they're doing with the taxes. And that is why I love what Trump is doing. And I love what they're trying to just, no tax on the first $25,000 of overtime, no tax on the first $25,000 of tips. The original cuts, there's more and more cuts down the pike that they are doing, and they're also doing quality of living cuts. These are things that are working towards getting Americans back, but it has to be done right. Right now, you're just convincing people to open themselves up to slaughter. That is really fucked up.
Wrong.
And, you're a dirtbag.
Yeah, I mean, that's putting people at, we know, you know what I mean? We know how the deep state plays. That's exactly how they're going to go after you. So people that are saying that is very suspicious, and it's very terrible to do that. Think about all the patriots, wonderful people. Okay, real quick though, brass cubes. I love it. Brad is pure fire right now. Yes, he is. Boom, Brad, 100%. I know what you're saying, Brad.
Yeah,
infiltration of the deep state, make
for a while. So.
100%. Yeah, and so we got to understand that. I've said it so many times. Imagine the money, just if you can fathom the money paid on these propaganda programs to keep you from thinking for yourself. Isn't that just the craziest thing? That's why at the end of the day, it is a battle of good and evil. What is it? What is it that we want? We just want to have a great life on earth. Like, is that too much to ask? But apparently it is, because it is an ancient evil. But we are breaking, this is the best part, guys, we are breaking the grip of their ancient control. We are exposing what they've had used over us for so long. And again, this is where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. I say this all the time, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. We are fighting for freedom. So therefore, the Spirit of the Lord is with us. The Spirit of the Lord is with us. So I want you guys to remember that. And if you speak truth, no, God is with you with this. And this is a battle, politics, sure, whatever you want to call it. But we have a president that is trying to save us from the worst, horrific fate that this country was going to experience. They never thought she would lose. It was going there. They had a plan. Okay.
Yeah.
No, God's he's got a whole different plan, bitches. Like, buckle up. Trump came on the scene, and that's definitely, I've said it before, people get after me, but it is divine, in my opinion. It's divine that he is our president right now. That is what God chose to help us. And, long live liberty and freedom and all that good stuff forever.
Yes. A freaking man. Yeah, this is it. I mean, this is now or never. They have exposed the whole system. They are right now in a very vulnerable spot trying to do, but no one has even gotten ever this close. Maybe there's been attempts. There probably have been attempts, but Trump's in. He's doing great freaking things. It's incredible to watch. And, the way they've been talking has been quite confident and amped up lately. So that makes me feel really good about stuff. Then you couple that with all the stuff that has been happening. And then with things like this, where, again, a real guitar Arthur says Q-Post 1271 is very interesting. 8-year Delta. Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning of the show. I can bring it up again here because
these are all great. These are all great.
Absolutely. It's worth noting that this is an 8-year Delta, and we've been hitting a lot of 8-year Deltas. Let's see here.
Why is it taking over? My today's taking me over for the next day.
Well, in New York, it already is the next day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why.
That's
I'm like, why is it taking me today for yesterday?
Is it still? No, it's not light out anymore. But I mean, here in Alaska, it is definitely.
Which one was the number? I didn't see what he said.
1271. Here, I got it. Here.
Oh yeah, dude.
Boom. Happened. Not public. Debate how to handle buying time. Toxic, dangerous threats. Yeah, that is quite the interesting Delta right there. We had some toxic, dangerous threat come upon the White House Correspondents' dinner tonight. And thank God everyone is safe. And again, I want them to figure out who this guy was working for, because this is a setup, and they might not, but this should not be brushed under the rug, because I think all three of them, Ryan Routh looked like a total setup. Obviously, he's asking people to send him rocket launchers. Was it Thomas Crooks? That guy, no one saw him take a ladder and get on a roof with a sniper rifle. Especially the police were staged in that very building. So, and then there's video of people in the crowd pointing him out, and they don't take care of that until after he pops off a few spots, kills Corey Compatore. I think he injured 2 others. That was these are the big things are happening, dude. They have been in panic mode since the day this guy knocked Jeb Bush out of the race. And we know why now. The things he's done. I've been falling back to this because it's just one of the coolest things of 2026, because there's all these big things that we've been naming. But removing us from 60 international programs, including like all 30 plus United Nations programs, which again are just them siphoning money out, is one of the most metal things ever that you would. The only person who would ever do that is someone who's pushing back against the globalist new world order. And he's doing so much that is literally, it was like a secondary headline when it happened, and then now it's next to forgotten.
Yeah, dude.
Amazing.
I'm looking to, so back to what you guys were, that Q post, it just gets me thinking, right? It just gets me thinking, happened, not public. Okay. Now we instantly, could think, and these are old, by the way, these are like 8 years ago. So we got to understand this too. And I know people have different takes about how these posts are to be interpreted, but let's just look at it critically here. So debate, it says not public, debate how to handle buying time, toxic, dangerous threats. Toxic, dangerous threats make me think of bioweapon, right? Right off the get-go.
Yeah.
Right? And then I was thinking, well, what has happened leading up to this? Well, there was all the cancellations. let's see, did I find it here? Okay, Chief of Staff Susie Willis imposed strict limits on cabinet level international travel. Remember, this was April. Oh, so that was early. I actually remember when that happened. Okay, this gave me a whole list. But yeah, basically they stopped Vance from going over there, and there was some peace talks were going to happen over with Iran. And then that was just pulled back and canceled, right? And then this. And so I don't know. I'm just throwing this out here, chat. You guys can take of it what you will. But I just thought that was interesting. Toxic, dangerous threats. And they do. I mean, there is no limits to what the deep state will do. These people are evil. These people are sick. But yeah, there was a gunman that came in. So that's kind of interesting. These are very interesting deltas. Like,
yeah, well, it's even more interesting than that. Now look at this, right? Okay, so we just went through this. Happened, not public, debate how to handle, buying time, toxic, dangerous threats, right? What does it say on the bottom? Note 187. Now, earlier I was saying that 187 is police code for murder. Well, what about drop 187?
Yeah.
Causing uprisings by certain patriots like Kennedy, Reagan, Trump. And while they managed to kill Kennedy and outlast Reagan enough, lessons were learned. Then now they're finally ready to clean house and become American again. 187 talking about the assassinations on Kennedy, Reagan, and then obviously today was an attempted assassination on Trump. So that is an 8-year delta telling you to note 187, which is a post about presidential assassinations. Incredible.
Real quick about that post, going back to that you just had. That was when it stated assassination attempt on Trump. That was before there was even an assassination attempt on him, correct? The time of this?
Yeah, I don't think it's not specifically saying assassination Trump on him yet. It's talking about Kennedy and Reagan. So let's see. Let's read the whole thing. It says, my actual conclusion, this is something that Trump, the Q posts are sharing. This is something that someone else posted on 4chan at times. This is my actual conclusion. It's probably what's delaying me the most, as it's been mind-blowing understanding our country now. I totally get it. Current conclusions is 1, so the Titanic was a Rothschild, screws America by making our money worthless. Crash of 29, tons of new government, which doesn't fix the problem. Rothschild created, but a war helps. CIA, everyone blackmailed with sex tapes, media consumed CIA, country forced hard left, population to puppets, causes uprising by certain patriots like Kennedy, Reagan, and Trump. But I love putting those three together. And while they managed to kill Kennedy and outlast Reagan, enough lessons were learned that we are now finally ready to clean house and become American again. First time in about 100 years. Wow. Yeah. So they have definitely, I'm sure, studied the attempts by Kennedy and Reagan. Some say Nixon also was trying to do it with the Fed, and that's why they asked him the way they did. But
I mean, Trump literally said that, though. He said, I've studied it. He said that on his live stream tonight.
I've studied it. He
said that. That's what I'm saying. He said, I've studied the assassinations. So I'm saying, dude, this is like intensely wild. Yeah, that's great. Great breakdown.
Yeah, that is freaking nuts. And that is from
8 years, 5 months ago.
Here. So I see a lot. I said, now go to post 187. And it refers to today's assassination attempt on Trump and references Kennedy and Reagan assassination attempts. Unbelievable, dude. It's the greatest show on earth, man. Everything that's been happening is just absolutely nuts. Deplorable Laura says that Benny Johnson is reporting that saying the shooter is dead. See, that's interesting because it did look like they had him down, but he might have been down with gunshots. Let's see. Let me see if I could find that. See at least what he's saying or what he seems to be hearing.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that clip of Trump specifically saying that about he studied the assassinations. Yeah, you guys heard that because we played it live. But that's wild, right? I mean, this is just freaking wild. all sitting here like, okay, 8 years ago, calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, rock and roll. Please give me a thumbs up. I very much appreciate it. Please share the stream. Like I said, go follow Brad if you don't. Yeah,
Maybe
pretty
he's
wild.
live. Maybe he's live somewhere saying it. I don't see any new posts making this claim, but I do see. I like this that he posted. I don't like it, but it's. I like keeping track of things like this. He says they've tried to assassinate him at least 5 times. Thomas Crooks, Ryan Routh, multiple plots by Iran, gunmen who stormed Mar-a-Lago, and now the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This violent death cult must be disavowed. Yes, 1,000,000 freaking %. And then we have what I think another one that was almost popped off, and this was about a week and a half ago, when a man with a Joker-inspired rifle fires guns, runs into traffic near Trump National Golf Course. And they had the rifle was loaded with a round in the chamber painted green and purple with ha 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 written on it. It's showing Ryan Routh, but this was the guy. And this is it's again just this is the kind of weird ideology that's been happening with these people. And he was originally from Arizona. He had just moved out to Los Angeles. He had a falling out with his wife. And here he is. This is how he is, right behind Trump National Golf Course. And so I had done a little digging on him, and something snapped in this guy. I was finally able to find this. This is his Threads page. And right up until that time, I think it happened on 3/29. He's like burning tables and chairs behind. And here he is. This is the strap right here. You can see of the gun. If you go back here, so you can see that's how I was able to notice definitely the guy. There's a strap of the gun. He's wearing this body armor. Let's look at, you can see the front of the body armor here. Now go back to this. You can see he's wearing that same body armor there. And this guy like flipped, and he was saying a lot of crazy stuff. I made a little bit of a montage of it in a video that I had done going over it right here. And this guy, he says, he's saying throughout it that I talk to God. I've been talking to God. But he says it a few times, and the way he's saying it, he's acting like he's actually hearing a voice that he's talking to, which made me think of, again, voice to skull technology. It made me think of this, and the guy's clearly he's going insane. So he's a total mental patient. And where'd he go? He has a Joker colored rifle, and he goes right behind a Trump National Golf Course. Again, these could just be blanket things that they're just throwing out, just peppering the public, because they've been primed for 10 years at this point.
Yeah, they're triggering their TDS, Brad. And I found it. So this relates to the Q post, right, guys?
Here we go.
Here we go.
I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln. I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there.
They're very impactful people. So he's referencing the people that have stood up against the deep state. That's pretty much what he's saying here.
Yeah.
The big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and
so I'll leave you with this.
I've studied assassinations. I've studied assassinations.
And that Q post we just went into is talking about the assassinations. So, wow, that's pretty wild. It's fun to find these things live time because you're like, okay, roger that. POTUS, we got you. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple of days, because I'm telling you, things are spicing up like spicy turkey. I'm telling you, I was feeling it last night. I couldn't even sleep. Brad didn't really sleep. We were just, there's just so many things. And but you know, we're here to support Trump. We're here to support the movement. We are here to fight the deep state. Fight. That's what this is all about. We've learned about these things. We've got the research under our belt. Like me and Brad are just like, I mean, obviously I'm not like a professional reporter, but I have the sauce. And that's the key, is if you have the sauce, you have the evidence that doesn't lie. Truth is powerful, and it will always obliterate all the lies. That's exciting.
Yes. Always will obliterate bullshit. And before we go out, I do want to tell everyone about Rumble Wallet real fast. If that is copacetic. And it's pretty cool. I do have it myself. It's awesome. They can freeze your accounts, shut off your cards, lock you out of your own money overnight. Banks don't protect you. They control you. That's why real financial freedom starts with ownership. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a non-custodial wallet built for people who refuse to give up control. With Rumble Wallet, you don't just buy digital currency like Bitcoin and Tether. You can own Tether Gold, real gold on the blockchain. Through Tether Gold, you get direct ownership of physical gold bars, each one fully allocated, verifiable by serial number, purity, and weight. This isn't paper gold. This isn't an IOU. This is real gold without bank vaults, storage fees, or gatekeepers. You can buy, sell, or move it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when traditional gold markets are closed. And if you want, Tether Gold can be redeemed for physical gold. That's power. And when you support creators on Rumble, you can tip them directly using Rumble Wallet peer-to-peer and outside the banking system. No permissions, no middlemen, no cancel buttons. This wallet is yours forever. And you can click the link and sign up for Rumble Wallet. It's really awesome. And again, it is revolutionizing the way to share money, to even tip your favorite content creators, and just exist outside of their clearly captured system. Although it's being dismantled, which is pretty sweet.
Dude, heck yeah. And just reviewing just what Trump did when he came out. Like he basically is just telling the deep state and all of us, you guys, you know, prayers up, obviously, constant, but also no fear. They came out strong. Todd Blanche said, "I promise you justice will be served," end quote. Rock and roll with Todd Blanche. I didn't know much about him until he came on the scene, especially with him and Cash. And I was cutting up that whole thing of them, you know, exposing that's not the CDL. I get the names. ADL. Thank you.
Yeah, and the SBLC.
Huge deal. So I guess for you guys, like what I want to let you guys know is just no fear, and that we will not be bullied. We will not be bullied. We are not going to be scared. It's not a game, obviously, but you know, we are here to cover the news. We're here to tell the truth, and we support Trump 100%. There's nothing that's ever going to change that. And yeah, so we're in it. We're in it together, right? In it together.
Yes, in it together. Thank the Lord, no one was hurt. They have this guy in custody. I don't think he was shot. I think that's I think someone might have misunderstood that. At very least, pretty sure he's in custody. So hopefully we can get some information. This guy was definitely a setup. The fact that he grabbed everything, it was set up in the thing. Either he was able to set that up beforehand, which is weird because usually just regular hotel goers don't just have access to makeshift bar rooms. Who knows how he did it? I'm sure the surveillance is being combed over right now. We'll know more as time goes on. But a great tragedy was averted today by our great law enforcement, great Secret Service, and everyone. And they should be absolutely applauded. And also President Trump and everyone surrounding him should be applauded for their bravery, for doing what they're doing. And I just want to say that it means the world to me, sir. And it means the world to a lot of us And we will continue to cheer you on as you do everything you can to get this done. We love that. We love you guys. Yeah.
I second that 100%. And yeah, thanking the Secret Service. You guys acted greatly within 25 seconds, I've been told. That's pretty damn fast. So congratulations to that. And all the Secret Service that protected Trump and everybody there, the attendees. Brilliantly done. You guys are in our prayers. And yeah, Trump, 100% with you all the way to the end. Rock and roll. Let's go.
Rock and roll indeed. And, you know, I see Let the Arrest Begin. Love you out there. Just gifted 10 subscriptions. I love the gifted subscriptions because it gives people a chance to see the Rumble Premium and how awesome it is. So I imagine a lot of people at the end of their free subscription are like, you know what, I'm just going to get this. I think it's like $100 for the year. So not that $100 is pennies, but you know, for the amount of crap we buy, whether it be at the grocery store or impulse buys online or the stupid things we sign up for, I think $100 for Rumble Premium, and tell him Brad sent you, is just a way better way to spend that $100 to get access to everyone's ads, everyone's premium streams, no ads across the board. It's just a really pleasant experience. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Knock your socks off.
Thank you so much.
Let the Arrest Begin. Also, Knock Your Socks Off is awesome. But yes, thanks to Let the Arrest Begin. And
and let the arrest begin, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
And nothing can stop what's coming. I see you, Custom Defender out there. Brass Cube, so good to see you. Angie K, love y'all. You guys are so sweet, sending so much love over here to me and Brad. Love Brad and Abby. Thank you. We love you guys back. And stay positive. Stay positive out there. And yeah, prayers are so powerful. Keep those prayers going. Let's do it.
Amen. And, we're going to leave you out with the MAGAverse the World outro as a reminder to tune in every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel, Abby's channel, for MAGA versus the world. Take care, guys.